This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, that's on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all it counts to me. Goodbye and good night.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. The first 2024 episode of One Nation Radio of the year. I'm here with my co-host, Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Happy New Year's, James. Happy New Year's to everybody in the chat and everybody hearing this on the podcast. Glad to be here. It's been a couple weeks. FOH kicked ass, and the wrestling world went crazy over the holidays. There's Wrestle Kingdom to come. There's Noah shows.
Tonight?
Then there's the WWE shows had like the day one thing happening. Big news for AEW kind of on the horizon, looking like Wednesday they try to pretty much do like a big show for the first week of the year. And One Nation Radio, of course, doing a big show for the first show of the year. We're kind of busy, so the awards are still we're still working on them. Yeah. Y'all know how it works, so we'll let you know on those. But James, how about you, man? What's going on? How was your New Year's?
I mean, it was rather uneventful. Didn't do too much. Just went to the gym over the weekend, and then on Sunday last night, I just pretty much stayed up until like 1, went to sleep, got my ass up, went to the gym this morning, and continued on with life. Like, it's weird. It's weird when New Year's was on a weekday. It just is, right? Like, so, maybe I would have, done something more eventful had it been, a time where it's like, I can kind of have a day off, but it was kind of just back to the regular grind. How was your New Year's?
Oh, it was cool, man. I was sitting here with your cousin Alex, and we watched. I showed him a bunch of like Death of Rockefeller videos that like he had never seen.
I've probably never seen them either.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of stuff that was like on DVDs that ended up on YouTube. We were just talking about a bunch of stuff. But he ended up retiring shortly after midnight. But I stayed there and just kept drinking and did my tradition of karaoke earlier in the night on New Year's Eve. Love doing that. And then from there, I watch all the old rap videos from the 90s and early 2000s, usually on New Year's Eve, and had some wine, had some goose, just straight, with the ice, the Yeah Boys. And
hey, we might have to retire Yeah Boy. We'll talk about it in a minute, though.
We will. But yeah, I just had a chill time, reflecting on a lot. And trying not to get too emotional about things. Made some beats today. Of course, I first day of the year I always try to do something or whatever to get it right. I sent Swerve some heat. Kept some for myself. So besides that, man, where to begin?
You tell me. I mean, it just feels like a show where a lot of things have the potential to be clipped.
Oh yeah,
like there are things where this could honestly be like a 5-clip show.
And we're going to be starting a new list because the 2023 clips are finished now.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys are following the YouTube channel and all that. We're over 500 subs on there. Appreciate everybody. Make sure you pick up FOH, as I mentioned, because FOH is sensational this year. Lot of great reviews on that. And I think I gotta say the end was so great between all the chops and then our everything we were grateful for. I thought it was a great overall show.
Yeah, it was a great show. It was a great show. It was a great time. First time, I think since you moved, they were like all four of us were together. So it was definitely fun times. I went on and blabbered on about my life before we started, and it was in a way that I don't think I've ever done to Jeremy and Josh. So that was cool. So it was fun times. And then I got my dream of all dreams to be able to chop Josh in his chest. He'd been running scared for years. And I finally was able to do it. It was fun. Can't wait to do it again next year. Next year, we gotta tell him for more money, you gotta take the shirt off.
So last year, James was in Nihon to begin the year, and now he's back here. Still nothing mounted on the wall, I see.
Look, man, it's still there. I'll put it up. I just haven't done it yet. Trust me. Before you bought me something, I was really hard on the no aesthetics. I think I told you we were in a group chat with Niagara Driver and JML and Velcage, and JD from Red Leaf, he loves giving me shit about these clips that you're in a solitary confinement. I was like, yes, no aesthetics. You will watch me and it'll look like I'm in solitary confinement and you will enjoy it. Now I got that, so I got to put it up. So I'll get it up eventually.
Yeah. Well, hey yo. That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure we're talking about the core. I'm pretty sure we announced the pronoun of what it was. But okay, very mature, Ron.
Yeah, man. So let's get to it.
Real quick before we move on. Brewhaven said Nihon James is retired right now. And hey, I missed that earthquake. It ain't a bad thing that Nihon James was retired right now. Maybe it's every other. Look, pray for those over there. But your boy got lucky this time. Ain't no earthquakes over here in Florida. We got hurricanes. I'd rather deal with hurricanes, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They have typhoons and earthquakes. That's for visiting. That's for visiting.
Not in Tampa Bay.
Nah.
But yeah, man. Mercedes Moné. Let's begin there.
Oh man.
I can feel it in the air tonight. And what I'm talking about, the Cope. And not Adam Copeland. I can feel like the winds of change blowing. It seems like there's some hinting going on that Mercedes Moné had talks with WWE that broke down. Of course, all the back channel nonsense started immediately from there, where they started putting out, or someone started putting out, things about the talks. Whether it was she was asking for a Charlotte number. She was asking for a Becky number, more specifically Charlotte.
Yeah.
And the whole thing behind that, I sent a tweet thread out about it, basically saying, who would this information come from and who would it benefit?
Right. And there are people that still got messaged you and responded and said, why would this benefit WWE? Because this is their saying that this is their sticking point. This is them putting out their negotiations to public saying this is our walk away point. This happens all the time. Well, you know what? I can't blame them because, we often have this thing where it's we have people that watch this stuff and they don't watch sports, even though this is a fake sport. So therefore, the best way to do it is try to copy what sports does and what sports is best at. It will also be able to control the outcome. What sports doesn't have. This happens in sports all the time. In fact, likely 2024 or 2023 NFL MVP Lamar Jackson, he was given a franchise tag where any team could have signed him away. And there were teams left and right coming out the woodwork to say, we don't want him. Why do you think that was? It was for the benefit. It was for the benefit of those teams and actually the Ravens, because they didn't have to negotiate against themselves or against any other team to keep the price lower on him. It was collusion without actually being able to find paperwork on there being collusion. So like, especially after what happened with the Deshaun Watson stuff, where like he got so much money and it reset the framework of what quarterbacks can make that like everyone was around, we can't do that again with this guy after we just did that. That's the reason why everyone held the line on that situation. Now, fast forward to this, transfer back to the fake sports.
When this shit comes out and you immediately add the Charlotte piece into it, that makes it no longer about Mercedes Moné and WWE. That makes it Mercedes Moné versus Charlotte. Right. To try to switch that narrative because, people love Charlotte. She signed with them. And then what they won't admit is that WWE has always seen Charlotte as the bigger star and picked between them long ago, right?
Yeah, as early as 2015.
But people, they tell themselves these fantasies, about like whatever, she is in WWE.
Right.
And try to convince themselves that either it's going to be different, this is the only place she can be, and Vince is gone now, and it's all different. And I'm like, y'all don't know what's happening here. Like,
right.
and the whole thing, like, they don't care that Mercedes always had more fans. They don't care that Mercedes is 5 years younger than her. These are not the points of this, these are like the T.I. Low flip thing. These are not the points of contention in this conflict right here. This is not what it is.
Yeah.
This is trying to control a narrative about this black woman.
Can you say it again? Can you say it again?
Is trying to control a narrative about this black woman who can really write her own ticket. Honestly, like, and if that's to another company's benefit in AEW now, that's going to burn a lot of people up, and it's going to weaponize all the people that say, who does she think she is to ask for what Charlotte gets? Who does she think she is to come out here and demand this when she's injured, when she's blah blah blah? They've got a bunch of chicks in NXT. They've already got Bianca Belair. There's all this stuff that we always hear.
Also, you already got another black, right?
To mention, never do the Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks stuff in public on Twitter. It's always designed to make you fight. Never do it.
I never knew that existed, but
oh yeah, one, Bianca Belair.
But the thing for me is like, maybe the reason why I didn't know it exists because like I would never want to go into that because I know where that's headed.
That sounds too much to me like upholding white supremacy. So that's why I don't.
Yeah, like it's the more palatable black person to the white audience.
That's just your black person. That's all.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It goes back to like Ali versus Frazier, right? Like, look, Cam Newton, RG3. Derrick Rose, LeBron James, or Kevin Durant. It's always one of these things that like, we don't like what this particular black person does. So what we will do is we will put someone next to them to champion that one. So to say that like, so we have a reason to say that like, we're not mad because this person is black and being uppity. We're mad because they're uppity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always stuff.
There's a lot of people that need to line up, take their L's, put the cope out on the timeline, and tell the truth about it. Just say you're upset.
Yeah.
Just say you're mad, and you want her to be in WWE where she's under Charlotte. Say you want her to not achieve. Say that you want her to just be underneath. Essentially, tell the truth about it.
The thing is, I don't know necessarily if WWE fans want her underneath so much as...
No, they want to lie to themselves and say she's not underneath.
Okay, gotcha.
She always will be.
Okay, gotcha. They just want her home under any circumstance. Now that she's not home, they're going to come up with whatever reason to be mad at her and to justify not tuning in to watch so they can pretend that like they were ever really fans of her more than like the brand or the company or the promotion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I welcome it.
I mean, like, look, man, she was in New Japan in Stardom for a year, and all those Abbies, I saw a lot of them being pictures from the press conferences, but not many of them from like her pictures from the shows. So, you know. Yeah, man.
Going forward, it's looking like the winds are blowing her towards AEW. I don't think. Oh, it looks like The Rock just came back on Monday Night Raw. So
I mean, we were talking about that for a few hours now, right? Yeah.
But not to fuck up the clip. It looks like she's because yes, when we talk about Mercedes, it's getting cut, baby. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah. CM Punk, Roman, Mercedes, Stardom title changes. Yeah, they do numbers.
They with her going to AEW, I don't think she's an instant problem solver for AEW. They have to radically change pretty much everything when it comes to, how they push women in that company, who they push, and they need to come up with a really good game plan as to not let it turn into the CM Punk situation, like where it's, it's because she's going to require a lot more than what they have. Under the current way to present people, because say you sign her and then you change nothing about the time, anything, that's a waste of money. And then that's along the lines of like signing Saraya essentially, but like I would imagine like in no way am I saying Mercedes Moné and Saraya are on the same level. However, Saraya did not change fundamentally how this company operated. She just came in, signed at whatever she was signed at, right? Mm-hmm. And I would imagine it was not like, cheap or anything, right?
Right.
So the strategy I think has been going on, which has led to the overexposure of Sky Blue, Julia Hart. They're doing the classic Moneyball, low spade strategy. Develop your own assets to the point, you can eventually like do something with them. But when you throw Mercedes in the mix, it's like, all right, everything has to change. Like you got to keep her in there with no one sorry. You got to eventually make her the champion, and you got to elevate, and give her stories and programs worthy of that.
And you have to like, you kind of have to treat it the way that like if it was wearing completely like what they were trying to do, WWE was trying to do with like Ronda, where it's like, this is your shot at some version of legitimacy that you or viewership that you did not have previously, and it will behoove you to now invest into that particular division because you have a star there in a way that you did not have before, for whatever reason, and now this is your opportunity. So it's like it's gonna it could lead to like the Charlotte and Becky stuff on one end, leading to them eventually meeting up. Obviously, I don't mean they're gonna have some three-way thing that had no business being a three-way, but it's like as far as like. There's gonna be eyes, and there's gonna be some type of opportunity for the women that did not have before. And by woman I mean like the division as a whole. So like if she comes in, it's something we've been talking about like for a long time, maybe since after year one of AEW. It was like, what happens when a horsewoman flips? And we were always looking. Like, who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be? Actually, they didn't even say after the first year. Was actually first year because 2019 was like when when her and Bayley left after WrestleMania 35. So it's been a thing where it's like people people have been fed up with that promotion, but like for so long that's the only place to go. So it's gonna take somebody to go do it, especially from that division, from that side of the spectrum. So if she comes in, they have their shot. They can rest at ease at like they put her on the Wembley screen a bunch of times during the pay-per-view and it actually paid off, and it's not just some big egg on their face.
That would be bad. Yeah, that would have been embarrassing, I think.
They was using her for free promo. That was a leverage play.
Yeah, we'll fly you in. Like, there were people on that roster that had been there from day one that didn't get flew in. So like that was like but yeah, man, I only hope good things that come from this, but you never know. We'll see if they're capable, but I definitely like if it's up to me, like Yuka Sakazaki's coming in, like Riho just, lost to the champion. I think Riho's like a perfect person like to put her against to begin to where like obviously she's a good wrestler and then they'd be able to have a good match.
Yeah.
Red Velvet would be another person. As I mentioned, Yuka Sakazaki, and then it would probably lead up to like Hikaru Shida for me. Like
Shida. I mean, look, this is when all the people that have been, from injury or whatever else or rehab, like the Thunder Rosas, the Shidas, the Jamie Hayters, the Statlanders, like the Serena D's, people that kind of look.
Willow Nightingale,
Willow Nightingale, bring Athena ass out of the mid tier Amrest, put her into the major Amrest again. Yeah. So there's plenty of opportunity, and she knows more than just a few of these people. She's had run-ins with them over the years from different styles. Like Tony Storm in Mercedes is a thing that's ready to go right now. They can just do this is my spotlight. My character is I am this glory hog, 40s actress or whatever else, and now there's a bigger star than me. I don't know how to handle it. I may have a psychotic break again. Or my psychotic break might take me to even further places. Like, there's a ready-made story for all of that. So, yeah. Tony is going to have to try with the women's division in ways that he's never done before. In the ways I would look at back in the day and be like, look at all this trying. Look at all this trying in this tag division, in this singles men's division. Look at all this trying. Look at all these attempts to be creative.
When does the Megasis come back so we can get the true David versus Goliath match?
That's here on the table too. Her and Nyla, that's on the table too. Yeah.
And I gotta say it.
Also,
Britt, we already know the tear the timeline apart.
I don't know how much.
Line me up.
I don't know how much of the timeline that's going to tear apart. I mean, I don't feel like there's too much overlap on that Venn diagram.
No, I'm saying it's like the gas is already poured on that one. All you got to do is book it, and then that's throwing the match on it. So,
I mean, that will be interesting until the match starts.
Yeah.
Because once that bell ring, how about this? Can we get?
It's gonna be all time slander. Yes, Wasabi King, all time slander. Yes.
Can we get a Can that come in the form of a tag match? You gotta get Britt not to do what she do in these singles match. You need to be tag team Britt.
Man, Nithman brings up a good point. They could do the Julia match at Forbidden Door. they probably could. Oh, I know that's gonna make.
See, at first when you said Julia, when I saw when you said Julia, I was thinking Julia Hart. And I was like, oh, you meant Julia. Okay, with the G. Ha 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 ha. I see what you're doing. Okay,
Julia.
Okay. That would be funny though. Yes, it would.
Yeah, that would be. I want it. But yeah, I guess we'll move forward. In other news, it was announced during Worlds End, I imagine not by accident at all, that Kevin Dunn is retiring and out of WWE. And hold on, let me pull out this here pack. First pack of the year.
I thought you were going to zoom in and out and shake your camera around or something to commemorate. Before you
to talk about Kevin Dunn, I should just do
just
this.
A whole bunch of this shit, right?
Yeah, back and forth. But yeah, like honestly, the camera cut thing never really got on my nerves like that.
Oh, it's so bad
for me. Like I was just fortunate enough not to be bothered by it. However, what did bother me about Kevin Dunn was a lot of his overall influence on what went on the screen.
Yeah.
The way that women were selected in this company, a huge influence on that. His overall, his tics about just the style of presentation that has been so frequent and the super gloss and the bright colors and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it's he bothered, like the camera cut thing bothered a lot of people more than me. But I think the stuff with like him and women, and then also being in that fucking circle with Vince for all those years, knowing what the fuck was going down between him and Laurinaitis and all that stuff. Like, this is a problematic individual that is fucking gone.
Yeah. So for me, just the technical stuff of watching WWE over the years or watching any pro wrestling for a long time is like, you watch the stuff and you see their tricks for how they shoot their stuff, and you can kind of from there pretty much have an idea where they're going. So, perfect example. At Worlds End, there was a spot in the 8-man All-Star Continental Classic tag match where I believe Jay Lethal had someone in a figure 4 leg lock, and Jay Briscoe came off the top rope and hit the froggy elbow to break it up, the submission. So the reason why I say that is because when they zoomed in on the figure 4, I was like, oh, WWE and Kevin Dunn has trained me that means someone is about to break this up from a dive off the top rope. And sure enough, it happened. I was like, see, WWE does this all the time, so I see it. But this is one of the first time I remember AEW doing it like that. And the way you also can do it is you just show the move, and then you cut to the person on the top rope right before they go and dive. It's less jarring that way when I've seen it done in New Japan or in Stardom, but whatever. But there's so many things for the way they capture stuff. And don't get me wrong, like, Kevin Dunn has captured a lot of great things in the history of pro wrestling from his camera direction. He's also missed AJ Styles' camera reveal at the 2016 Royal Rumble, and he goes on to become one of the most important wrestling acts in the company over the last decade. And he also, like, fucked up Edge's return interest in the 2020 Rumble because he wants to show Dolph Ziggler in the fucking ring for some god-awful reason. They actually edited it in post, right? So, like, there's just a bunch of stuff that I think...
MJ does PR. Kevin Dunn working the boards like DJ Rectangle.
Oof. Was Kevin Dunn really a Jam Pony DJ?
Oh my god.
Do we have to explain what a Jam Pony DJ is? Or do we y'all Google it. Y'all figure that out.
Yeah, y'all figure it out.
We ain't gotta give you all the Florida. Y'all figure that out. But yeah, man, gone, and I feel like Major and wrestlers for better with him gone. A lot of his ticks were not like in overproduction stuff. Those were not problems of NXT when Triple H was running when it was in his peak, and AEW was a better television program week to week than they were. And same thing as when after the brand split in 2016 when they went to SmackDown. And SmackDown had like used the crane cam to focus action a lot. There was less of the cuts and all the goofy stuff and jarring cameras, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like this is going to make for a better viewing experience now that he's gone, because a lot of those things, it's just in the way of the product. And let the wrestlers tell the stories, and you have to capture it.
You're not going to really see too many people coming out with glowing experiences talking about Kevin Dunn. There's not going to be people
Universal
notes
down.
I would love to know what the Triple H and Stephanie McMahon household was like in light of this news.
Oh, you want me to show you, give you an example of what it was like?
Sure.
Well, at the time when we thought Vince and his workplace malfeasance was going to send him out to paint forever before he came back, we celebrated with a Mercy podcast where I popped, I think it was like a $50 bottle of sparkling wine. Can't call it champagne because it wasn't, from that part of France, but it was sparkling wine. And then when Laurinaitis took the fall, I ended up pulling out the Corona for him because just to give you appreciation of what the level of significance is. So for Kevin Dunn, he's not Vince, but he is higher on the second order than Laurinaitis. So I will give you the barefoot, the cheap sparkling wine. So to you, go to hell.
Pour up, have a drink for me.
Yeah, we'll continue this for the rest of the day, but of the night. But yeah, barefoot.
In other news, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's skip that way.
Okay.
There is a new president. His name is Hiroshi Tanahashi.
What? Now,
it's like, where did this come from? Like,
I'm happy for him, but I don't know what it was exactly he's done in his life to qualify him for this job, particularly.
Apparently, he's wanted this job a long time.
Right, but much like I wanted to long apply to be like Megan Thee Stallion's lotionist. That doesn't mean I'm gonna get the job because I want it. Okay, so I don't know.
All you gotta do is believe, James. You gotta believe in yourself. You too can accomplish great things, But there was a report that like Kazuchika Okada was like, "Yo, fuck this nigga Obari, and I will walk out this bitch like it's either him or me." that Prince, do you want me or do you want him? Because I want you out this bitch, Obari. That's what he wanted. Fucking Tanahashi's. I don't know what Tanahashi is capable of here, but he instantly vaults to just behind Inoki as perhaps like the most important wrestler in the history of New Japan at this point. Like, I always wondered what his transition to dad status would be like, but I never imagined this was on the table, and this is a funnier outcome than anything. Like, now, Hiroshi Tanahashi will be shaking hands with Tony Khan, at Forbidden Door. Will he still compete?
That's the thing.
I don't know.
That's why it's funny.
He talked about wanting to win the IWGP title in the fucking press conference. I'm like, he can just put it down on himself. Why not?
Look, that's why
he's better than Sonata. You
mentioned this. You mentioned the Tony Khan thing for Forbidden Door. That's why it's funny. It gets to be him showing up, and he ain't gonna wear no suit. He gonna show up in the damn gear. he gonna show up. He gonna show up in the sparkly red, black, blue, and white joint. Looks like he's angel wings, and come out there, and he gonna hop and skip and spin, and he gonna shake Tony Khan's hand.
Spin.
This is gonna be fantastic. Look, man, the only way this would have been better is if they had made the president. Is it a President Ace or President Tana shirt? Which one is it?
President Ace.
If they made the President Ace shirt and Tanahashi had finally gave me what I wanted for all these years, which is a black fucking t-shirt. Why does Hiroshi Tanahashi not have a black t-shirt or a red t-shirt for me to wear? Why are all his shirts white?
Hey, maybe he can make a decision. Maybe he wasn't over that department.
He needs to. He need to take it over and say, "Hey, man, these Western fans, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're dirty or whatever else. They don't really take to the white. We're gonna change the colors up, and like I'll be like, thank you, President Ace. Finally a Tanahashi shirt I can wear. Thank you, appreciate
President Tanahashi, unbelievable. This part of me feels like this is a little bit like Jay-Z becoming the president of Def Jam. It's like, hold on, bro. Like you wasn't really running. That was like Dame doing all the business. What are you doing? But
here's the real one. Here's the one. How close is Muto to getting it?
You can never count out Keiji Muto, unfortunately, of these things.
That's why I asked. Because look, he did come back. He did link up with them when he didn't have to do that dome show to give them extra, give them some extra ticket, money.
We might have avoided something here and don't even know it.
I know. Muto's always talking kind of grimy to Tanahashi, and when he put him over making the A's, Tanahashi was like, all right, I remember that. You keep trying to lose your way back? Nah, I got this. Nah, you stay over there. In fact, you stay nowhere. You go to hell. You just go to hell. Thank you, President Ace.
Tanahashi will have like the fans' perspective, the wrestlers' perspective.
Yes.
And I would imagine there's going to be somebody helping him. I believe the guy that is running Stardom, I forgot what his name is.
I think it's Okada.
It starts with an O.
I think it's Okada.
Yeah, something Okada, but it's like
new guy.
It starts with a T or something like
Taro
Okada. Yeah,
something like that.
So I imagine that he's gonna probably have a hand in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There was talk there was gonna be a historic crossover 2 this year, And, given what happened the first story crossover, we can get President Ace in there with Red Belt Champion Micah for the rematch. I would like to see it.
Amazing. I don't know what happened with this, or what to anticipate from this. I guess we will see, but everyone just loves it. I don't think there's been someone with as much universal approval as Hiroshi Tanahashi. All the wrestlers and all the companies love him. Yep. The offices, everybody respects him.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see what's what he does. Zack Sabre Jr. will now be wrestling the president at Wrestle Kingdom, so he better not fuck the president up.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I mean, it's Sabreism. You ain't got to worry about getting worked over too badly. But for real anyway. But correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't he still 1/3 of the trio of the Never Trios champions with Okada and with Okada and Ishii?
Yes.
Yeah. So he already champion. Look, that's a lot of politicking. There's a lot of politicking.
President, champion, all that.
Yep, all that.
Is Hiroshi Tanahashi going to have a weird sect of people working against him? Now, he's got this title.
Maybe, I don't know.
Do the Hiroshi Tanahashi haters exist?
If they do, they tweet. They're tweeting off and Xing in symbols that I do not recognize, so I don't have to see. So more power to them, or whatever else. But over here, this is a reason for celebration.
Yeah. So let's get to it. Chris Jericho. So a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff has gone down this past week. I was debating whether to wait to talk about it with his match. We're going to do the World's End review, but I figured we'll just jump into it now, and then we'll reference back. Hey, talk about how the crowd reacted to him.
Man, that was,
all right. So these, I don't even know where to begin this. So these rumors have been around regarding Kylie Ray
since 2019.
Since 2019.
Since she left the company. Yeah.
From murky at best sources.
Right.
And there was entire tweet exchange with Jericho and Stephen P. New and resolving from the All Out NDA stuff. Jericho said he's never signed an NDA. Nick Hausman, a man with, I don't even know how to insult him that quickly, but a man without a care in the world, I would say that, jumps in and he says, well, does that count for people you make sign NDAs? And then Chris Jericho blocked him on Twitter. And then from there, it went to a bunch of different people. It just kept escalating a little bit more each day. And then it culminated in, it was a podcast clip where he further talked about Chris Jericho and said, he's done a lot of great things in the business, but, there would also be people that probably wouldn't speak so highly of him. And he, kind of danced around it. And he said a lot of things that were he was kind of talking in code. And eventually I woke up, I think it was, I don't know what day it was. I woke up and entire Twitter had already put Chris Jericho in jail. I was like, what's happened? I don't know what happened. And then I saw Kylie Ray had liked and then later unliked some tweets and left a heart emoji under a Nick Hausman heart emoji. And then from there, all hell broke loose. And it was there is some old screenshots from 2019, the exact same ones with cropped out names and stuff like that. Luckily, when all this stuff was going down before, I had some old screenshots saved, so I knew the source where it was coming from. And the people that were writing this stuff was linked up with Ben Hameen, who is off that Billy Batty tree of unreliability. Let's just say that. Okay. And around that time, there were a bunch of different rumors. There were Brandy Rose bullied her out of AEW, meaning Kylie Ray. There was also the Jericho thing that was out there. And the whole thing was she was told to go to some room where she assumed this is the rumor, right? This is not the allegation. This is nothing. This is what someone wrote on Facebook. So they were like, she needs to go to this room, assuming that there were people there, but it was not. And Chris Jericho made a pass at her. No, nothing else, right? No other details were given there. So from that, it's like it went into people started, writing fan fiction about all this from there on Twitter. Between Hausman and him launching this platform, he got his access cut. He was in the middle of a Twitter war, decided to unearth whatever this is. And then, you got seemingly Kylie Ray co-signing this or whatever with the emoji. Right. However, it's a fucking emoji. You look at Kylie Ray's last, I would say 4 or 5 years, she's gone through a lot. She's in and out of the wrestling business at any given time. I believe she had a child. She was in and out of rehab for alcohol, and she is known for being vague on social media to where everyone's just kind of doesn't really. And as an outsider, I don't know what to do with it, because like when you start talking about your relationship with God and everything like that, I'm like, I'm not in that relationship. I don't know what's happening here. But this emoji things, I think it sent Chris Jericho to jail in a lot of people's eyes. There was
it sent his ass to jail in Nassau Coliseum on Saturday night.
Yeah, and I think and it was a subject all day on Twitter, culminating in Nassau Coliseum, and then later the press conference where Tony Khan got asked about the whole deal.
What did he say?
About what he didn't say anything. Like he was like
he commented it.
He said, "I cannot comment on I actually have the quote. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, that's strange because Tony Khan normally will just filibuster around something without actually answering it. That's his go-to move, which is interesting.
He kind of did that, but I think I can't really knock him for what he did either. Like he was like, I can't speak to internet or unsourced rumors because there's not been an allegation made. All there's been has been emojis, and and it's like. He was asked,
and if it came down to it, his ass would probably be like depositioned anyway. If it came down to it, so
right,
it's probably not for his benefit to,
He got asked whether Chris Jericho now has he now or has he ever been under investigation, and his response was, "I can't speak to internet or unsourced rumors." I don't think it would behoove him to either say yes or no in that situation because, I think you have a duty to protect your athlete in that case.
Yeah, and the answer is probably yes, just based off of the brawl out thing alone.
And it was like, he went on about the safety of wrestlers, there's stuff like that. People flipped that quote. Was basically saying like, what do you mean the safety of wrestlers? You feared for your life, like when. He was clearly talking about under like the sexual harassment or any type of abuse allegation, style that style of safety or whatever. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people want Jericho out of here for this. Personally, I don't even want to say if he did something, get him out of there because I think that's obvious. However, this thing is it's just crazy how this all moved. Like this is moving off of
it's been
very dark Twitter rumors.
It's been a thing that's been around, floating around in the internet space. Quite frankly, like we've heard more jokes about. Well, these were the jokes about Chris Jericho that happened in 2019 up until his wife was at the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Like that was the number one thing until this, and that like got it. That took like the focus of it is like all the jokes went to Jericho's wife, which is also another interesting story because Jericho's wife like took her account off private in the last week or two, and she is worse than, and the shit that she posts is worse than you imagined for someone that was at the Capitol. So just been a banner start of 2024 for Jericho, but
So also I forgot to mention with the Nick Hausman element of this, right? Completely irresponsible for what he's doing. Whether it's, putting a story out there that either he can do better on and write a real story for real.
The reason, regardless of whether or not, okay, Okay, if Jericho did something wrong, then he should have been outed years ago for this. Correct?
You would think, he should be out. He should be outed whenever whoever or whenever the victim feels like they need to speak up.
Yeah, sure.
If people know,
Hausman isn't doing this.
He's not doing this for pure reasons.
Wanting to see a better society. He was in a pissing match with Jericho for whatever reason, and then decided to sling mud. This is mud slinging. So
yeah.
Like, so
and,
it's all so
we
like
can't leave out. We
the thing that needs to be
out the Nick Hausman is a house organ for CM Punk. In this whole,
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
I don't know these people's names. I don't follow this shit.
Okay. So the entire Twitter exchange was between Jericho and CM Punk's lawyer regarding the All Out stuff.
Right.
So there's like Nick Hausman being egged on here essentially, and then now this whole thing is essentially like another layer of CM Punk versus Chris Jericho and by proxy AEW.
Gotcha.
And then there's like it's really like it becomes a tribalism thing. It becomes,
and then I saw some
Jericho
Cornette people
thing.
were also jumping on Jericho too.
Cornette thing, people, it's like this whole thing got so nasty, so many different ways, and it was just like, I feel like if no one's ever going to talk about it, and if Kylie Rae's under NDA allegedly and all that, I feel like with the Vince McMahon stuff, we saw how people got around NDAs. Call the New York Times or something, like get someone to write something for real. Like if you can't trust the wrestling media to do their thing, if you can't trust, I think when it comes to this, you absolutely can. There's not some. It's even like a, and I don't think you were doing this, but like we can't even like we cannot trust them. We can't trust even the best or most notable or most prominent to be able to do this job because they do not handle us like real media does. Right. So but the absolute rush to get Jericho out of here over an emoji, I'm just not doing it. Like over an emoji, I'm like, yo, you're an adult. Use your words. Whenever you're ready, we'll be here. That's where I'm at on it.
So for me, I feel like whatever someone feels like wanting to do with this. If they want to brand Jericho, not brand, I'll take that back. If they want to say that Jericho is a sex pest, because they saw that emoji, and that's enough confirmation for them, cool with me. If people still have mixed feelings about it, which is kind of where I am on this, as far as like. This has been a dirty internet rumor, and I don't mean dirty to say whether or not it's believable or not, but like just a thing that's been around, like that's been unsubstantiated, and still, quite frankly, is still unsubstantiated. I don't know what to do with this. But I'm keeping an open mind to it. I am open. I am in good faith. Don't know what to do with this. Don't know what to do with this, and like I don't want to hear anything from this, and I hope it goes away so I can cheer for Jericho. Look, man, I like Jericho. If he did this, that changes. Or if I hear any more information or whatever else, I
was like, we don't even know what he did. That's the thing. Like, it's like all we have is made a pass.
We'll never know what he did.
All we have is made a pass. James, I'm seeing people send out the Vince McMahon "Come On Out, You Fucking Rapist" video without a hint of irony on this thing. And it's like, hold on,
there's a lot of
let's be responsible here. But not everyone, not everyone thinks like that. So
they made a pass that is vague, and I don't mean that for cover for Jericho at all. It could be a lot worse than you think. It could be nothing. It could be just he's an adulterer. I mean, at worst, it's sex place harassment, right? If you only got to pay for that, all right. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with women not being okay with like going to work and like saying, hey, this person made a pass at me, get them the fuck out of here. And people were like, all right, man, you can't, hey, man, the job ain't for fucking people. Right? The workplace ain't for fucking people. Gotta go. So, yeah, I'm just, I would like to know more on this. You know, in all honesty. And hopefully there is more as far as whether Kylie wants to come forward and explain her side or not, or if she wants to, or if someone else is there that has more information on this or whatever else can come forth and it's, you know, something that could be or more solid. Yeah. And I hate to say it that way because it may sound like don't believe this person, but I'm just keeping an open mind and I don't know what the fuck to think on this. I'm just keeping an open mind, and as we, you know, over time, hopefully we'll hear more and we'll get a resolution to this or something close approaching a resolution to this. Because, you know, like, so much of this stuff is like, forget Jericho, like, just in general, it just left up to people to just like have things done to them and like they don't move on it or they sit on it and like that affects their lives. So, you know, I hope for the best for her. I hope that, you know, she can find peace with whatever happened to her or whatever. Because obviously, like, it was her and Britt that were supposed to be like the two big stars of the division, and then like she just left, and it was really abrupt, and that's why this thing has stayed around for a long time, and it went away as far as like the interest in it or the mudslinging about it. Now it's back, and like hell, rightfully so, because it was weird. It was weird the whole time, and it's still weird now. It's even weirder now. Because now we have this shit coming back up as like almost like a cold case because people that don't give a fuck about her or her well-being are in a dick measuring contest about someone that's not even in the company anymore. It's all fucked up. Like, something bad may have happened to this woman, and people are weaponizing it against somebody.
Yeah.
Not because they give a fuck about her at all. It sucks. It's nasty.
Yeah. So, like, as far as like how AEW should handle Chris Jericho going forward, obviously his reactions have like already suffered from this from Saturday night. I don't know what they should do going forward because you can't just suspend him for quote unquote nothing. Like, you can't just like I think you have to have a conversation with him. Like, say, you know what? Like, you have to. I feel like two people have to be in the room: Tony Khan and Chris Jericho. And if something already exists, they know it exists, and then they need to figure out how they want to attack it. I don't know the answer for how they proceed with Jericho forward, like, especially should there be something that was like, hey, we'll give you your release, you know, but you sign this here, whatever. But that would be like, it's like, yeah, something went into HR where you would have to have an HR case combined with like the release thing. All that stuff would need to come to light, kind of. And I don't know. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because if these are skeletons in AEW's closet since 2019, Tony Khan has already decided to ride on that lie, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, like so AEW and Tony Khan are not in a rush to presume or publicly presume or adjudicate Chris Jericho as guilty one way or the other.
I think
it's a bad look because they're attached regardless of whatever happens.
I think
so people that are looking for Tony Khan to have an answer on this, Tony Khan got to answer you because Tony Khan's skin is in this game too. If you were to think about it. Yeah,
and without, you know, the deniability, like, is like without an allegation, like there's no reason to even address it. I think the only reason the calls are going to get louder and louder.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And louder.
The reason to address will be because there's going to be because the on-screen reaction doesn't make sense to someone that doesn't know what's going on. And this is a wrestling fan base or a wrestling promotion that reacts to their fans' reactions, right? like it doesn't pretend like it's, you know, whenever they're in Canada or whatever else, or Bizarro Land, they actually listen and change stuff. And if that's the reaction he's going to get, one of the last things they could do is turn Jericho heel again to work in the booze off this. Because Jericho was doing this during the match. Like, he was calling audibles to try to get heat on, or him taking bumps for like guys like Hobbs and Takeshita. He was doing that. Like, you could clearly see he was trying to make use of the reaction. It was like, that's nasty. That's a nasty way to handle this. Like, regardless of innocent, guilty, murky, whatever the fuck, like, you know why they're booing, and you are using it. That's nasty. So, I don't know. Like, but I'm kind of with you on this. Like, whatever has happened, Tony Khan has already made his bed with him. So, like, to expect Tony Khan to do something or AEW to do something with Jericho is laughable. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's not going nowhere. And quite frankly, until like either the door is kicked in, like to a level like where there's words behind this thing, a story behind this thing, a reputable story, I don't know how you can like just get Jericho out of there.
And another thing about it is like,
and nor would I. I no.
So when I say that about looking for him to get thrown out or whatever on AEW's behalf, like I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no clue. So I'm interested to see what happens over the coming days and weeks or whatever else, because like it seems like they should address it, but business wise, it would make no sense for them to address it, and it's only gonna make a cycle where like the fans are gonna keep reacting to them, and then you're gonna have to something's gonna have to happen on screen to justify what the fuck's going on, and I think that's nasty because you're playing this game because you still want to keep on. So like it's all just bad, and like you can't just make them go away because that's the same thing that's taking them off TV is the same thing as like making a reaction to the fans' reaction to it. It's all bad. So it's like
there should be no reaction if nothing happened, right?
Sorry?
I'm like, there should be no reaction if nothing happened, right? But I don't know. I wasn't there.
I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. I don't know. These are some what do you call it? Uncharted territories for AEW. And how they handle it is going to be interesting going forward, because like I know how Vince would handle it. I know how their fans reacted to it, and their fans would not have booed Jericho like that, because they kept Riddle on. Riddle's stuff was a lot more credible, and they just kept pushing through. They're not gonna fuck. It's a different audience, and it's a different time, and Tony Khan is not Vince McMahon. So, and AEW is not WWE. So the precedent set by one company does not hold toward this company. So I'm interested to see what goes with this forward, and hopefully they don't leave it in the dark on this. Hopefully they don't make this into it. They're going to launch an investigation. We never know fuck all until we're all dead.
Yeah.
Just like the other previous two.
So
are we still waiting for those findings?
I don't know. Are we? Like, but yeah, this is a lot. I'm a huge Chris Jericho fan. Been that way since the mid '90s. I'd be extremely disappointed, to say the least. Depending on the level of this, thing, and where it goes to, and whatever comes out, I can just hope that whatever is going to be done is done openly and kind of fairly for everyone that's involved in this. And with women and their, how do I say this? Like, this shit is not like fair for them. Like, and a lot of people or a lot of women struggle to even gain acknowledgement of problems like these. And that's like I think that's a big thing. Like when you see how a lot of women are treated. You brought her up earlier, Megan Thee Stallion. Let's talk about her. So this woman was shot, right?
Yeah.
And you can go in any comment section for any post for her, and you'll see free Tory Lanez in it. She's a liar, blase blah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like doing that to Kylie Ray. I'm not gonna do that.
I didn't know that, and I didn't know that, but I should have already predicted that was the case. That fucking sucks.
Like there's a lot of like.
I mean, we could talk about over last week. There was a Twitter thing that I came across that I found quite interesting. It's like the people, the backlash of Malika Andrews ever since pretty much she called in to First Take to tell Stephen A. that he was bugging over the Ime Udoka thing, and she was clearly right. But the idea that like a Stephen A. produced show that has a woman as a moderator that is there to basically throw up the alley-oop for him to dunk and the other guys to dunk as she sits there as they talk while she just sits around. Like, that wasn't a place for that particular fan base, and that particular fan base that watches ESPN has like circled the wagons on harassing the fuck out of Malika Andrews ever since then, over the last year and change. And when she was a fucking,
it's the same culture of like the way these men are reacting to these women.
Yeah.
Very similar
these
situation.
men hate women.
So it's if you're hearing this show and you're like, man, I never really thought about it like that. Talk with a woman and just try to understand like what walking out to their car feels like, at night on a store, what it's like to just show up to their place of work or whatever, and then you just got to worry about icky feeling, having a conversation with somebody that's uncomfortable. Like, these are all very real things that are unfortunate. It's never going to be fixed, but acknowledgement can go a long way.
I mean, it will get fixed if dudes stop behaving fucking ridiculously.
Too many dudes.
You get my point, though.
Yeah.
Like the gym I go to, it's a boot camp gym. It's overwhelmingly women, and there's a group of women that I'm particularly close with, and they talk about like their dating lives, and they share with each other like their locations on their phones, almost 24/7. Now, Rich, have I ever shared my location with you? Ever? Have I ever had the need to? Fuck no.
No.
The reason why is because of their safety. If they get snatched up, the phone is still a way to locate this person. Last contact and all that kind of stuff. I ain't gotta think of that shit. They do. That's a part. That's just one little glimpse into all the shit, women have to go through, let alone in the workplace.
Yeah. So, well, let's just move on. So, what we got next? All right, AEW Worlds End. Man, actually, I can't even say that. What a show, indeed. Oh man. At long last, James, ding dong, the wish is dead. Yokozuna has dropped the leg on Hulk Hogan, and Hulkamania is over. Go to hell.
Ah, man. Yeah. That happened. It's over. It's over, and I'm still not happy because, like, what's left while he's gone is, like, these clowns that all conspired in a criminal conspiracy to get the belt off this guy that's going to be taking the TV time now, and that whole criminal conspiracy is fucking stupid. So, like, you talk about, like, your influence, what you left behind. He's left behind bullshit. As he goes to get rehab, he's left behind bullshit for what to do on TV. So yeah. Yeah, we'll get into that, but general thoughts on the show. What were your general thoughts on the show for you getting an MJF in match by match?
Okay, I see people floating around that this may be the worst AEW pay-per-view of all time. Also, like cage matches, rating it trending that direction. I don't know if it already is or not. I categorically reject it. I deny that the existence of that because I was at All Out 2020 and I refuse to let that one go away. Risk COVID for tooth and nail. Risk COVID for Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. Risk COVID for underwhelming FTR versus Kenny and the Bucks match. Risk COVID for the fucking Mimosa Mayhem match or whatever the fuck that was. The Jericho falling into orange juice.
Yeah.
Risk COVID for Matt Sydal damn near breaking his neck. No, like these are totally different levels like of this thing.
What is tooth and nail?
Britt Baker versus Big Swole, tooth and nail.
Oh my fucking god! I forgot about that match. The cinematic match in the dentist's office. Yes, that fucking sucked.
It was supposed to be on the pre-show. People raised the stink. Why can't we have more women's matches? And then we got that.
Hey, Rich. That was another singles Britt Baker match.
Indeed, it was. Dr. Larry, the Gato Move match. Yes, at the dentist's office. Yes. But I'm not going there with y'all. Y'all want to, like, people are getting, caught up in the moment. If it's a below par, AEW pay-per-view, people will rush that. So, no, I'm not there. But the stuff that I did like on this show, I thought actually delivered really big.
The three things.
Yeah, like I thought Swerve's presentation, it wasn't the greatest match in the world, but it was like, yo, he's a fucking killer and he's a fucking star, and they want to see him beat the shit out this old beloved man, like, and they don't give a fuck.
You ain't going far enough on describing what that was. He beat the shit out of this old veteran legend white man, and the crowd was eating it up.
Loving it.
I don't recall too much of this in other promotions in pro wrestling that I watch in America. Where a black man doesn't really go. Go ahead.
Not the most friendly place in the world for black folks, Long Island.
I didn't even think about that part, but yeah, I don't quite recall, because at first when it happened, right, and I'm thinking Rich, you told me about what match was happening, but like I see it, and I'm watching this on delay. I'm watching this the next day. I watched this yesterday. And I'm completely unspoiling all of it, but I'm watching the angle where he puts he does the curve stomp off the apron to the floor through the cinder block, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, he turned on Keith Lee by doing the cinder block on his chest. I could see this is one of those things where he hurts the legend from Texas. It brings out the injured Texas guy, and they actually just do the match anyway. And then I'm like, they do the match. I'm like, wait. The dude that wasn't on screen didn't get cleared. They just saw a motherfucker get his ankle snapped on the cinder block. And okay, Dustin, because you say so you can go out there. I'm sorry. What? No, the match is over with. The match didn't even start. There is no match. Take your ass to the back. We got to use the ambulance so you don't lose your leg. You might have compartment syndrome or some stupid shit like that. So I was like, what is going on? So I was just interested in the match happened, and the match had its moments, whatever else, but overwhelmingly just felt like the match too long, and once you start with a broken ankle, there's really not much place to go.
Yeah,
you presumed broken ankle,
Well, no, I hit that destroyer on you boys.
He sure did, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. He also did what's it called? He did a Shattered Dreams too with the rough one look, and I was like, all right. So which leg is which ankle is the one that's doing it? The one that's planting the kick or the one that's kicking the turnbuckle? Which one? All right.
It's everyone you believe, brother. I thought Big Cope earned his AEW stripes. Against Christian here. Loved everything except the cash-in part. I was just befuddled. I was like, why are we doing this?
This is how we gonna do this. There was the match, then there was the second match. First match, great. Right. Second match, trash.
Right. And it was like, I was like, yo, this is the best match between 50-year-olds since Nagata versus Suzuki. Totally different kind of match.
Wait. Are you talking about that New Japan Cup match from 2020?
Yes.
When all they did was slap and shove each other?
Yes. Yes. Oh.
It was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome. It really was.
I'll never forget that shit. Empty ass building. Empty ass building. Wow.
Yes. Oh, motherfuckers. Don't want to take no bumps. Look, I hear JD and I complain about the 9 and I wanted to bump whatever else. Meanwhile, I see her taking top rope, flipping moves on her neck and shit. Meanwhile, these two under had a classic without taking like 5 bumps the whole match. I ain't hear shit about neither one of them saying, nah, they ain't bumping, it ain't real wrestling, it ain't real hip hop. That shit was awesome. No selling is awesome. Live with it.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, Brewhaven said, fuck this white man, Nassau Coliseum. But yeah, like I thought Samoa Joe individually, I thought as a performer, I thought that was probably one of my favorite performances of his.
So go into that
I've
for me.
seen.
Go into that for me, because for me, or maybe are we just gonna go flat, quick through this, or just thoughts right now?
Oh, I'm kind of in overall thought mode.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll go more into it later.
I'll actually go into that more when we get to the match, because me, it just kind of went over my head, the whole like aura of killer for me while watching that match.
The Continental Classic final
great
culminates, awesome. And then like there was like this 5-match period. There was a long time it was just featured like some of the worst matches I think that have aired on pay-per-view, between just odd environments like the Miro versus Andrade last day at school match. The Julia Hart and Abaddon I refuse to participate in this. Like, we're not like, why am I subject to this? Like, y'all got to stop this. Like, obviously the Jericho 8-man tag, people blowing spots left and right in this thing, and it was just like a black cloud on this match. Yeah. But half of the show I thought was pretty good, and then the other half was like is almost just like as weird as it gets almost.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What about you?
I think the opener, the All-Star C2 match, I thought was really fun. Fast-paced action. I really liked all the interactions. It reminded me of like a Road to match that was set up something, amongst like for the future amongst some of the matchups. That's what in general. So it was really fun in that perspective. I think that the main event, I thought it was, while good, I thought for a main event for an AEW pay-per-view was disappointing, very disappointing, but I still thought it was good. More people liked it than me though, so what it is what it is. I thought that the final to the C2 Classic was great. And I will say this, the way it started, I kind of, they both were to kick pass, they went out there and they were out here checking kicks and stuff, and I'm like, hey man, you ain't Shuri, knock it the fuck off. But once they started wrestling, it was fun. Hilarious seeing Kingston out here trying to dive like he a main event Joshi. Christian Cage and Copeland, I thought it might have been the best match on the show.
I think it was. It
might have been the best match on the show. The first match. If you add in that as one whole presentation, then I will go with the Kingston thing. But if you're going with just one match, I'll go with Christian or Christian and Big Hope.
First pay-per-view where no elite member had a match.
That's where the clip starts. That's where the clip starts. Do we need? I want you to talk. And then as I talk, I want you to pull up the thing I sent or whatever else. I'll send it to you again.
Send it to me again.
It needs to be seen. It needs to be the thumbnail as well. Man, it's very important. But man, let's get to it.
This is the first pay-per-view that the Young Bucks have missed, which means there is no elite period on this. Kenny Omega wasn't booked for this show, obviously, with the diverticulitis. Hangman Page was written off in an attack by the devil people. No Young Bucks. Cody Rhodes is on Raw. So no elite. So this was a future that I saw, often see people wishing there was no elite around and just, well, how about it? How'd you like it?
I did not like it.
Did y'all like this show overall?
So me and Rich had got into it. Was this before the show? Was this Saturday before the show started?
Yeah, it was. And
I was like, hey man, I understand Kenny Omega got diverticulitis. That's one thing or whatever else. But like, I need Hangman and I need Young Bucks to suck it up and bring their asses back. And I kind of need them to save the promotion. For the 45th time in 5 years, in 4 years, I need them to save the promotion again. Yeah, man, like, I'm looking at the car and I see fucking Julia Hart and Abaddon on here. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this shit? And then it might have been like, I think what really solidified it for me was like, we were supposed to get Keith Lee versus Swerve on like a week, on a couple weeks notice with no real build to it other than the part where like they turned on each other last December 2022 and they never got back to the match and they was going to do it here just cause. And I was like, and then it turned out like Keith Lee couldn't do the match and I was like, well, the fucking match that I've wanted for years went down to the shit. Now I'm stuck with this match that like I thought could be some 4.5 star level match or whatever else, a great match or whatever else. And now it's going to be like something not as good, which it wasn't. I'm looking around, looking at this car. I'm like, this is not an AEW level pay-per-view, and this is not an AEW level pay-per-view because AEW is called All Elite Wrestling, and there's literally no elite fucking wrestling. And I'm like, where the fuck is the elite when I need them the most, right? Like this, imagine this Gotham City, right? And we got mass terrorists with goons out here beating up people's ass, like, right? I'm just a person on the street, just looking up into the sky, right? I'm just looking for a symbol of hope. That there might be a glimmer of something that might change and restore the feeling. And Rich, can you pull up what I was looking for? Can you pull up what I was looking for the people on the stream to see? I was hoping and wishing that they could put up the goddamn elite signal like the Batman signal. Like, where are they? I need you. Save us. Police, help. Hangman, help. You a cowboy, you may as well be a sheriff. Bring your ass out here with the spurs and the gun and the badge and come shoot one of these niggas. Help us feel more safe. God damn. Young Bucks, they're doing this thing right now where I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they're off TV and it sucks. No Lucha Bros. Where's the original core at?
Hey man, y'all won. They wanted the elite out. They wanted them not around. They won. This is what these are the results. These are this is what you get left with.
Do you remember the Chappelle Rick James show when he did all the skits where Rick James put his feet on Eddie Murphy's couch and they stomped and they beat his legs up and they said his legs like McGlean, so he had to crawl out the building.
Yes.
And he said, we were just playing. He's like, man, these is all jokes or whatever else. And then he yelled out, what I'm gonna do about my legs, Charlie Murphy?
Yes.
Look, man, I don't know what all these idiots got to do with me. I am not an idiot. What am I going to do about this show when you not here, Elite? Y'all need to be here. So
this plenty of opportunity for people to do their thing in their place.
And in that opportunity, they showed they do not need these opportunities. The opportunities to be lesser and then to be more given back to the top guys in this promotion to help build this company over the last 4 years to what it was.
It would
if
be
you give
great.
Opportunities to be the people that swerve, that when they get opportunities, they shine with them. Right? When Christian Cage been given opportunities, he has done what? Shined with them. When Big Hope has been given opportunity, he has shined with them. When Andrade has been given opportunity, he has shined with them. He's gone now. Brody Lee, right?
Like I said,
what?
I've never come on this show and said everything needs to be about the elite in AEW. I've never done that.
That's right.
However, what I've always said is the elite is what makes AEW different. and what makes the connection that the Elite has with the people that built this company, the fan base that started this company, that needs to be valued, that needs to be cultivated, that needs to be like shepherded, kind of like when all these guys, and maybe this is just a fluke scenario where they all missed the show.
It is a fluke scenario. Like how often
it's a preview.
The other 3 acts, 2 of them are off TV. For one, because they lost the match and they regroup, and the other one because they got beat down by a bunch of terrorists, and another one got real life diverticulitis. It's unlucky.
Yeah.
But we do in this company scrap storylines when it benefits the company to scrap a storyline. So like Nightmare Collective got the fuck out of there. Dark Order was OP. They packed that shit up. Hey, y'all licking y'all wounds from injuries. Fuck that. Come back. Pretend like it never happened. Run it back. Come back. And they should have circled the wagons and brought them all back. Because there was a 100-minute or 90-minute stretch on this show that was bad.
And it was like, man, I sure could have used 3 different matches, with in that period. I'm sure it wouldn't have gone that way,
I mean, look, let's be realistic. Kenny Omega never going to make it here because of diverticulitis.
Right, never going to. He was never, not even possible.
If you look, the Elite were the ROH Trios champions, whatever else. You could put them in a Trios match with Action Andretti and Top Flight.
They don't have those belts anymore.
I know that there are trios teams. So you can have them in they're the number 1 contenders. They could do that. Because Andretti and Top Flight lost their chance against the Acclaim. You'd be like, all right, well, you get another shot, or you get a shot now at the ROH trios titles, whatever. You could have done that. You could have done another swerve. After what happened, you got another swerve in Hangman match. They would have stole the show or whatever else and made the show better or whatever else. There was all these things that you could have done. And this is what happened. And it wasn't good enough. Flat out, wasn't good enough. You talked about the heartbeat of the promotion and what they mean or whatever else. I'm not going to get into all that. All I know is these are with Hangman and the Young Bucks, those are 2 of the 10 greatest performing acts in the history of the promotion, and over as well. Them not being on the show hurts the show, period. So when you decide, hey, we're not going to leave, we're going to just healthy scratch them off for storyline purposes, you're already starting on stupid to begin with. And then I saw the show, and it's even worse. Don't do that shit ever again. Thank you.
If you can help it, yes. Avoid.
Right. Kenny Omega thing, diverticulitis. It is what it is. You can't work around that. Them 2, y'all elected to take them off the show. Those were healthy scratches. Remember when we were killing in 2000, was it 18? When we killed SummerSlam 2018, Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
You chose to leave them off the fucking show. That's stupid. Don't do that.
Yep. And it all goes back. Respect the Elite, man. That's all I gotta say. So, but let's go through this. Let's start with the main event, James. Let's take it from the top down, man.
All right. Yeah, sure.
So Samoa Joe versus MJF for the AEW World Title. We got a new AEW champion. Like I've kind of said on this show, this is where this was headed. The second that he laid that belt on the ground and said, I don't want that ROH TV title. No one's pinning me. I'm being kept strong. I'm also wrestling this man again, who I just lost to a few months ago. I felt like the way we watch wrestling, you should be able to see the alarm going off. This is what we were talking about here. Joe's the champion, and this comes at the end of kind of a renaissance year for Samoa Joe. When I think about it, he started in January with that match with Darby, and he's pretty much been awesome the whole year. I would have never thought Samoa Joe would be somebody that would ever win the AEW title. It just didn't seem like it was in the cards for him. But I think you got to keep this stuff in mind. He's delivered, when he showed up, for Ring of Honor. He's taken a long time to get healthy. He's great against all the smaller guys.
Yep.
He dealt with CM Punk shit all summer, like, and worked him, and to positive results. Wrestled him at Wembley Stadium. I would imagine there's some kind of reward aspect coming into play here. Reliable, not going to embarrass you, can talk, a veteran, has value in putting people over. When I first kind of was privy to this, it's not like Samoa Joe is going to make you excited or anything, right? Like, it's not the sexiest pick or anything like that, but it's about as reliable as a pick I think you can take in the promotion, despite him being 44 years old. And you never know. He is a car with high mileage, right? But if you don't ask him to drive far, I think this might be pretty fun. Very encouraged by, the stuff he was talking in the press conference, talking about you're going to do all the shit in the ring. People can come and get, he was talking that shit. He was calling out Swerve. He was calling out Hangman. And I'm very excited to exit the MJF era. Like, and I think, this is like Joe, like, he's been, I was worried about Samoa Joe coming in because he was injured all the time.
Yep. In WWE. Yep.
He was just a commentator, just cycled down, and then like he just kind of kept chugging along.
And they definitely missed their window with him in 2017 when he was hot as fish grease. Yeah.
So like this could be like a career defining thing to make us reassess Samoa Joe, even in a Hall of Fame sense. Like, let's see, like, what he kind of does. Like, and this is like, all right, we know he was in TNA years ago. He was in NXT. There's a chance like that we look back on this thing and be like, yo, this is like, with the talent that's available for him to work with, this can be really exciting, I think.
I'm open to it because I've always liked Joe. He's one of those guys like him and AJ Styles where people are like, I miss them from TNA stuff, whatever else, and Ring of Honor stuff, and like their legend kind of preceded them in, New Japan or TNA. So like once I finally saw them, I immediately understood why people spoke of them so highly, and I was like, I get everything you guys said was not an exaggeration. I see why why people talk so highly of them. And for me, with Joe, I would have wanted him in 2017, but they didn't do that. And I kind of thought like as a, I think I was more like convinced you when they signed him, like, hey man, he can still go at a certain level and he ain't got to wrestle at a main event level. So I think it's going to be fun. And I think he proved that over time. And I don't know if I think you would agree with that at this point now. So yeah. For me, I'm okay with it from the perspective of I don't think it's going to be long. I think he's a transitional champion, or he's going to be a transitional champion, and whatever they come up with for or things to mark this this particular run with him, however long or short it is just whatever positive you get out of it is just icing on the cake to you get whoever you really want to get it to. But I think there's also this thing where because I like him and because of how much I didn't like where we were with the title, people are more relieved than happy, if you really were to be honest about it.
Yeah, I saw this thing.
Like, because if this was a successful title reign, I don't think people would be screaming not screaming, but would be like, because we're so happy this on 40-something-year-old Samoa Joe with all his injury problems. Like, especially when like Bryan Danielson is turning down every championship under the sun when he still might be the best fucking wrestler in the world right now. So yeah.
This has all the elements of things that we should not like. He's old as hell. He beat a young wrestler. He was in WWE previously. There's just a lot of elements that's like, this shouldn't go right now. Quote unquote past his prime. He is past his prime. He's still good. He still has a high floor, but his ceiling is not. His ceiling is not as high as like the best wrestler in the world. It's not. Right. Yeah, Brewhead. I'm not saying Joe is a WWE guy, but he spent like a significant portion there, and he was directly from WWE.
Yeah,
when
from 2016 to
he came in.
2021, he was there for over half a decade.
So it's going to be interesting. Like there are a lot of things to look out for. Like, who knows what this guy's held together by right now.
Hey,
but like I said, you ain't making him drive far. He'll be all right.
Samoa Joe's the WWE guy longer than LeBron was the Miami Heat.
Wow.
Like, bro, do you ever think about that? Like, LeBron's been a Laker longer, he's been a Heat. That seems unimaginable to me sometimes.
Yes.
I know it, but I'm like, it don't sound right. Maybe it's because, it's the prime thing, but yeah.
I know.
Here you go.
Pretty soon they're gonna be trying to retire multiple jerseys for him and shit. And
that's already in the offing. That's already been happening. That's already been. He's been working on that.
Fly to LA. I'm gonna have to fly to LA and make my wishes known. But yeah, the way time works, as far as like how shit happens in the modern day. Like, you just don't even think about like how long somebody was in WWE in the last decade, because it's like it doesn't feel like it, but then it's like you look up and it's like, hold on, what the fuck? So
bro, AJ's been like, I saw something like AJ's
7 years.
AJ's been in WWE longer than like The Rock was before he went. I was like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So as far as the match, I thought Joe was great in this match. He came out, he had like, all the confidence in the world, somebody knowing they about to win this world belt. Like, and I thought he was doing like the German suplexes. He was chopping this guy, just taking him out on an apron, just fucking him up. Like, and it was just like,
the muscle buster on the apron was nasty.
I was like, I love this. Like, this was like, yeah, like I thought this was, this was just a real.
You want MJ to die for his sins?
This was like an execution.
No, answer the question.
Right?
You wanted MJ to die for his sins?
He had to feel it. He had to feel it. Because I was tired of it. I was waiting on this day. Like, bro, there was people. I was in the Voice of Wrestling AEW chat. At the time. And a lot of people were convinced it was he's hulking up. MJ was going to win. They were sending out the Hulk Hogan gifts. I sent out a Hulk Hogan gift as well. But I sent out the Yokozuna dropping the leg on Hulk Hogan. Okay. And nobody really understood. But I was like, you wait. And then it was just kind of, Adam Cole rifling around with the ring, taking a little bit too long. Joe pops him in the fucking choke. That arm drops 3 times, and the building is like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yes! Like, so, I thought Joe had all the, the carry stuff like a champion, just the exciting offense for me. Like, I thought it was great offense. It wasn't just like, just chops and in the corner and, just the regular Samoa Joe. I felt like he kind of like did some like different shit in the match. But I thought MJF like was pretty good too, like in certain portions. I popped for that F5 that he did. That was cool. It was, but overall, like I didn't think the match was great or anything, but I thought it was like it was solid or whatever. But what did you think about the match, James?
Maybe it's just knowing how beat up he was or whatever else. It just felt like, and also, you had some inside information or else that kind of went into that, and that may have tainted, that probably did taint my expectation for the match. But, like I talked to you and Josh about it after I finally watched it yesterday, and like my impression of when I watched is like, yeah, he beat the hell out of him, and then he went for his go-to move, the fucking ring, and he couldn't get the ring, and he ended up getting choked out, right?
Tried to cheat, it ain't work.
Right. I mean, he tried to cheat last time, right?
Look, no sippy.
Right. So, like for me, it was a match, but like you and Josh Smith from Keepin It Strong Style were like saying like he just felt like, or Joe had this aura of badasses, and I think Josh like said it reminded him a bit of like Lesnar hoeing Cena at SummerSlam 2014. I didn't get that vibe, but for me, it was like I like that match more because like. The match isn't like a guy has a bad arm, or Brock Lesnar doesn't like work on Cena's bad arm over and over and over, and then at the end chokes him out. So it's just like, what was the point of all this shit he's gonna talk about? You could have did that shit minutes ago, motherfucker. But yeah, it was needed. Regardless of whether I think he's a transitional champion or actually somebody going to turn into or treat as if he's like Heyman or anything. That's a different thing. It was needed. This title change to happen, and Joe's more than capable of being present himself as a champion. And he's going to dress up in the suit. He's going to talk big shit. He's going to have that voice. He's going to look how he looks. And he's going to wrestle how he wrestle, and that's more than good enough to be a champion level wrestler in major American professional wrestling in our lifetime. So, he's gonna make it work because it's Samoa Joe. We've seen that dude's work over the years, and he's always been good as hell. So, regardless of whatever else, I'm just interested of the status quo change up. We're past this festival of friendship ass shit. We're past this, planetary ass shit. The devil stuff is out now. That's going to suck, but that's going to be away from the title, so whatever. It's not the main event stuff anymore. So, yeah, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. So, I do have, as custom, the AEW or the championship eulogy for MJF. This one is by far the longest eulogy I've ever written because it was the longest title reign
is it the most negative?
Had. I'll let you tell it. I don't know if it's negative per se, but I kept it a buck. So I don't think I attacked the man. I just kind of held the mirror up, as they say. So here's MJF's championship eulogy. MJF was the sixth man to be AEW World Champion. After 406 days, he dropped the championship to Samoa Joe in his hometown of Long Island, New York, ending perhaps the most Jekyll and Hyde championship reign of all time. From the moment he won the title from Jon Moxley with fans dying to cheer him, he was engulfed in the bizarre exit of William Regal from AEW, where he struggled with an identity crisis of the wrestler he wanted to win the title as, at last using the diamond ring to do it. He was a man cast in a strange role, and many of his performances reflected that, often ending his matches with the feeling of someone not really being beaten, whether he was a face or a heel. His first promo as the champion was filled with half brilliance and halfway with weirdness. He promised a reign of terror, and for some, it was. Many fans reviled in horror at some of the stylistic and storytelling devices that seeped into his segments that flew in the face of the ethos of the promotion, with no greater dividing line than the hallowed grounds of the main event of AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. He was the first champion in AEW history to flip alignments during the reign, which giving him a unique distinction and allowed him to run the days up on what became the longest world title run in company history. He was also the youngest AEW world champion at 26 years old at the time of his win. MJF's best moments of his run came unquestionably when the bell rang. Bouts against Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega proved his elite level in-ring chops as he transitioned into becoming a more regular in-ring presence for the first time in his 5-year run with AEW. With that increased activity, however, came more chances to experiment with his presentation. Landing on a summer with Adam Cole to form the duo, the Brochachos, he became an ROH tag champion and radically changed his in-ring approach, further polarizing him. His original rise as a main eventer came with a promo in June 2022 in Los Angeles as a heel, where he performed a work shoot on the promotion in Tony Khan. AEW has never been the same since that promo. MJF was always propped up by a certain section of people who felt he represented an anti-AEW approach, and he activated those people to engage with the company at a greater rate. Suddenly, MJF found himself the face of a brand that was experiencing more negativity than at any point, but often MJF found himself free of judgment from various publications. Wonder how that worked. The pushback for MJF came from AEW's most loyal fan base, who outright rejected his devil storyline, the Brochachos, and WWE-like feel, which had increased to insane levels by the end of his run, peaking at Full Gear against Jay White. MJF, who's very aware of his critics, often went on the offensive in press conferences and Twitter, bragging about his flavor of ice cream and was arrogant at points about it, and then would turn around and be apologetic the next. He was clearly a conflicted champion who seemed to be reverting to what some people feel his influences are when the heat began to rise and calls for others to win the championship and restore the feeling got louder. Hanging over this whole reign is still the unresolved War of 2024, which has come and gone throughout this run. Going forward, Adam Cole and the Devil unit await him, and a chance to face a wider range of opponents without worrying if they are seen as championship level contenders.
So did you ever find out what that particular brand of ice cream was? I think I have an idea.
Fed, derogatory.
Oh, I was going to say ass, but fair enough. Yeah, man. It's over. If he gets another shot, can't do this shit again.
I think I try to be as fair as possible to him. I think there's another version of that is a lot harder on him.
Buddy, I mean, compare... How do I say this? The lowest of lows of any AEW title reign. On screen. You know, someone would be like, what about, how do I brawl out? Right? The lowest of lows of any on-screen title reign we've ever had in AEW. Unquestionably. And like the highest of highs are not near as high as all but one person's highs. So, yeah. Rest in piss. May it burn it. May it burn forever. If he gets another shot, there's no way he'll be this bad again. It would be unfair. Look, how do I say this? If he's ever nearly as bad as this again with the second title reign, fire him immediately for cause. I know you can't fire someone for cause for putting on bad TV. I know you can't. I know it's not possible. But I'm saying that for emphasis for how bad this was. So, yeah. He'll get another shot eventually down the line. Same for Hangman. I don't have concerns for Hangman. I have concerns for MJF. He can't do this shit again. He can't be this. Yeah. He has to knock it out of the park next time. Otherwise, what I don't know. Whatever. And you know that promo he did, or not promo. Well, it was a promo. See, they basically cut his screen time because it's kind of classic, like that player streaming thing he did, because Tony Khan said, we're not giving you no more TV time. You've got to go. We're about to sing you the fuck away. We're about to take the title off of you. So you ain't going to give you no more screen time because you fucked up enough for our TV in the last half of the year. When he says, like, let's be real, like, I'm not 5'11", I'm 4'8", or whatever else, and that kind of stuff. It's like,
we're not 4'8", 5'8".
I fucked it up. I look, man, I didn't mean to say 4'8". Obviously, 4'8". That's like 4'8". That's shorter than the fucking Ram Kaicho and Sakushi and shit. But no, like, and he said, like, I'm really 5'8" or whatever else. It's like, yeah, bro, we know. That's the thing about you.
Them his lips. I can see him.
Like, bro.
Them his lips, bro.
It's like, bro, I know. That's the thing about you. Everything about you is so fucking phony. And that's a part of your charm as a heel, but you're a babyface now. Get rid of it.
God damn it. Dr. Larry, are we talking John Gresham?
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
4'8"?
We can't beat that one. Let's move on. That's ridiculous. All right, John Gresham go pull up on you looking like a goddamn cage Wolverine. You ain't gonna appreciate being called 4'8". What you mean 4'8"? I'm 5'2". Fuck you, man.
You know what I thought of? I thought of Eddie Murphy in Delirious when he talking about the white man that's seen Rocky. He's like, hey man, I'm 5'2". You know, I'm like, you ain't gonna disrespect me. But yeah, as far as MJF goes, holla.
Get well soon, get healthy and all that stuff, come back, and don't come to the title for like 2 years.
Don't ever do this shit again. Like,
can't do that. Like, in like the whole, you know, taking off the roster page or whatever else, and the 2024 shit, cut the shit. We already know what the fuck that is.
Yeah. Out the cap, in the cap immediately.
Yeah. No one's buying it. All right, can we get to the Devil and the Devil's Goons?
Yes, I forgot about these guys.
Rich.
Amazing how that works. I like the reveal. I was like, oh, I see. But then after that, I was
aside from it looking cool, can you go over what? Because Sam said the same thing. What do y'all like about the reveal of it? Explain to me what y'all like.
That A is finally revealed. We don't have to drag it out anymore.
Okay.
B, I thought how they shot it with like Cole comes back. He kind of looked cool with all those dudes sitting behind him. He's on the chair.
Okay.
They kind of double swerved you or whatever. They were like, oh, they about to fuck somebody. Is somebody else coming out? But it was like, no, it's not somebody else. And then they just, set it up. And I thought it was shot perfectly. Unlike a lot of the stuff that gets shot sometimes in this company. I thought it was just like masterful. Like a masterful unveil. But then I quickly realized, I was like, oh, I don't really have to care about this because the belt's not involved in this anymore. Do what you want. I don't care.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with it.
Okay. So what I got from that was, it's over. It looked cool. It has nothing to do with the main event and title scene anymore.
Yes.
That doesn't sound like something that was so great. That sounds like a relief that it's over. Not that it's like, it looked cool. I granted that, but like for me, I'm just like, and it's the thing we were talking about this. Was it last week or whatever else in a group chat? It was like, we have long past the point of whoever this is and whoever the devil is and whoever his goons are, like we're long past the point of this being a satisfying conclusion.
I was glad it wasn't Dolph Ziggler. I was glad it wasn't like just some person you spent a bunch of money on elsewhere. It was like, oh, okay, there's like a unit that formed out of this that kind of makes sense and looks good together. No, I can deal with it.
Wait. That would have been the most random shit that had been Dolph fucking Ziggler.
At this point, we don't know what the fuck it could have been.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so, all right. I guess for me, well, not for me, like I just storyline wise. So when Joe and Cole interacted with MJF throughout the summer, it was always them playing on the NXT lore of during the pandemic, Joe came back to NXT and he choked me out every other fucking week, and I hate that guy and he's dangerous. Then with Wardlow, because it was all talking about all the people that it possibly could have been, right? Because they were like, it could have been Hangman, it could have been Swerve, it could have been MJF, it could have been Joe, right? It could have been a few other people, right? But like when the idea like it could have been Wardlow was like, well, it can't be Wardlow because Joe and Wardlow were a tag team. Joe turned on him, cut his fucking hair. His hair got cut because his hair matters to him because his dad, he grew it out for his dad who's now dead. And like it makes sense for the devil to be working with that guy because he fucking hates his guts because he cut his hair to remind him of his dead dad now. And also he hates MJF and he wants to take MJF's title from him and now he's okay giving it to another guy he fucking hates. That makes no sense. Then with Adam Cole, it was like you had that match at Wembley where ultimately you were okay. You lost the title. You were playing MJF. You made peace with the fact that I actually like this guy. So it's okay, you'll be friends. And for them to turn into I really want the belt all this time, so I made this fucking criminal conspiracy to terrorize the show, and Tony Khan and MJF and the rest of the wrestlers all said I can link up with this guy who was choking me out on NXT that I alluded to on fucking AEW television to be the champion, and now the reason why I started this to begin with is now going to this other fucking guy. I'm not gonna face him. That's fucking stupid. So for me, it's like, that's why I was like, this makes no sense. And then it's like, oh, not only is it either one or them, it's two of them in the same group with this fucking guy, or in the same group to get the belt onto Joe so they can be the alliance to stop Freeman Mania. I'm like, what? It looked cool though. All right, whatever, man.
Bro, looking cool goes for a lot.
And when Sam said this in the chat, I said, and what did Sir Sam said is, I said, like, look, and next time you see somebody slap on a submission on the top of the ramp on the announce table, I don't want to hear none of y'all complaining about it makes no difference. It doesn't hurt any more or less as it happened in the ring or on the floor. It looks cooler when it's there. Okay. All right, fine. I'll grant you it looked cool when Adam Cole was sitting in the chair surrounded by the goons. However, his motivation stinks.
Does Adam Cole like how does he keep convincing these niggas to get down with him? Like, is Adam Cole like got money or something? Is he spending Britt's money to like finance all this shit? Like,
look, man, Britt is a dentist. It'd be one thing if Britt was like a person that was out here like putting veneers on people in like L.A. or Dallas. It was, it was out here driving a Bentley because of how much money she was making, because it's really like, what do you call it? Superficial town she living in. She living in Central Florida, like just fixing people's teeth. I don't know how much
That's
money.
a lot of business.
Look, man,
look, meth country.
It's Central Florida, but it's not Polk County. It's not the same.
That's only a little drive, you know.
It's the halfway point between Tampa and Orlando. Never mind that. We're getting into Central Florida politics and shit and locations. They ain't got nothing to do with people that are watching from around the world.
Good point in the comments. Free dental work. Is he promising them free dental work if they get down with Adam Cole and the Devil Alliance? Like, do they worship Adam Cole? Do they all worship the devil together? Like, what's the This seems like the more interesting thing would be like if the wrestler decided to strike to form a union. That seems more interesting than what y'all are doing right now. It really does. Sorry. Look, Adam Cole like pressed up these little devil jackets and made them all feel welcome. Like do they continue to wear all black just without the mask now? Like, is this a gimmick change for everybody? Because Cole looked like an evil motherfucking cult leader motherfucker, like when he pulled that bitch back.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
To me, like Roddy as a number 3, that's great. Wardlow as a powerhouse, great. We've seen him in that role before. Adam Cole is a person that needs a faction. We saw him at his best in NXT with Undisputed Era. He had a faction. So that's fine. My problem, or not my problem, is how long is MJF going to be out? Who in the world is he going to recruit to try to face all these goddamn guys? Or is it basically like Adam Cole does the MJF thing and like MJF now has to go through the trials, tribulation, all the tests, to go and run up the ladder to get to Adam Cole in the way that he made everyone else go through all these ladders over the past. And it's like, great, MJF involved in another storyline where a motherfucker has to climb the Mortal Kombat ladder to get to Shang Tsung. Fuck this, I've seen it a million times. Next time, he's not Shang Tsung, he's Liu Kang or Kano or Sonya Blade this time, or Sub-Zero. I don't give a fuck. I've seen it enough times with MJF. Enough.
I'll tell you what I think it is. I think this is this is allowing to take time off, come with this attack, and then by blood and guts, Team MJF, whoever the fuck he can scrounge up, will be facing the Devil Unit in next year's Blood and Guts. That's what I think. But the
thing is, MJF has fucked over so many people. There should be nobody that should help him. I know there's supposed to be. I know there's supposed to be nobody. Story is the redemption of MJF, but like the redemption of MJF happened over the fucking summer when it wasn't earned. When he was out doing the Festival of Friendship buddy stuff with Adam Cole. When I was telling people that shit wasn't earned, and people were like, "Oh, it's so fun," and I was like, "No." You're missing the point. Adam Cole was an asshole who fucked over his friends, got injured, came back, and we cheered him because he came back from injury. Nothing changed other than time passed, and we felt bad for him because he got injured. He was still a dick, and sure enough, what is he? Always a dick. Adam Cole, always a dick.
Dr. Lyric, MJF gonna team with the Elite.
I mean, is that why they did
Adam
the
Cole did match? Like turn on these niggas like
but Rich,
that's a long time ago.
That happened in 2022, and they didn't even acknowledge that when they're all on screen over the summer. Never happened. The Elite, the Elite. I remember saying to you at one point, like, the Elite are all combined back, have gotten back together. So what they need to do immediately is whoop Adam Cole's ass, and no one said nothing. Y'all, I said that, and no one engaged with it. There were people just like, whatever. I was right. I want someone to. I want the chat. I want the chat to come in and say, I remember that, James. You're right. I want to acknowledge me.
Rambo Slampay. At least that would get the Elite on TV for a change.
Oh my god!
Like that one.
We already did that. We already did that. We already talked about the Elite not being on TV.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's move on. Just a fucking
Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston, finals of the C2. How many tournaments in this country have ever been better than the C2? Because you got 33 matches out of this thing.
I don't think there's anything even close, is there? Hey, consult Josh Smith.
Yeah.
The answer for me is this is the best thing.
The 205 Live tournament, the Trios tournament in AEW. I don't know. Like, it feels like this one.
They had quality content and may have had higher, did have higher peaks or whatever else, but there wasn't as nearly as much, from a content standpoint, there's way more quality content that was produced from the C2 than any other American tournament that I've ever heard of. So maybe,
one does not come to mind right now.
Yeah. Like maybe Josh Smith will have something for me. Maybe, maybe Les Thatcher has something to cook up or whip up to give us, but outside of them two, I'm gonna have to or Meltzer, outside of them three, I'm just have to say, like, off the top of my head, I think this is like open and shut place, easy slam dunk, number one.
Eddie Kingston is the new owner of the Blackpool Combat Club.
no longer William Regal.
Yes, that shit is the Yonkers Combat Club now. Eddie Kingston, King of the Bums,
See, the funny part is, like, if he had lost to Danielson, I would have had my great, my great tweet already lined up with Danielson holding the sign, and I would have said King of Bum Style, but it still works. He embraced it. He called himself, I'm the King of the Bums, and then he ended up winning the title, King of Bum Style, forever. He still won it, and he turned it into a positive. He flipped it,
I saw this story kind of like from a million miles away in this tournament. I was like, as soon as I saw the bracket, I was like, why are there 3 BCC members in this? Eddie Kingston's in the same block as Danielson and Claudio. I'm like, okay, he's definitely going to have to, obviously he has to fight both of them.
Right.
And then Mox is in the other one. I'm like, well, I only see one real story here. And then everything kind of lined up pretty much how I thought it was going to. And
can you look at the chat?
Eddie Kingston, yes. Good God. The Chopped Cheese Combat Club, the Bodega Combat Club, Chopped Cheese and Parliament Lights, Breakfast of Champions, the Bing Bong Combat Club. Amazing. Eddie Naito, yes, and Eddie Kingston did a Tetsuya Naito rundown on this whole thing, and wrapped up this tournament in style. He was the first one that introduced the tournament, the concept of it. They crowned him the Continental Champion. He's got 3 belts. He's doing it. He's wearing black and yellow. He's, acting like Toshiaki Kawada.
I don't remember Toshiaki Kawada winning this much, but okay.
I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was like a fitting final. First time he ever beat Moxley in his career, and beat him clean.
Yeah, it was one of those finishes where it's like, oh, he knocked him out, so he got him. But he was gonna put him over, but it wasn't like he got hit with a one-wing angel.
Well,
or a buckshot lariat, or you get my point. Like they're both trading bombs. And Eddie Kingston won the last bomb, and Eddie Kingston happened to be the last one to collapse on him.
Man.
Like this was kind of in a way you'd be like, this is a Rocky ass finish, and Moxie loved him some Rocky. So
hey man, you can't be using Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, and the word bomb just all in the same sentence.
What am I missing here? What?
Like, the Dunn.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I was trying to block that in my memory. Yeah. My bad.
Drop bombs. All right.
My bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, there was no bomb drop that night.
Yeah. No flunk flex. But yeah, so like the bomb finally did drop with Eddie Kingston and John Moxley in the ring this time. Eddie wins 3 belts, wraps up a great tournament.
Yep.
No complaints at all. Like this ruled.
Yep. To be quite honest with you, like, I think this Continental Classic was so strong that like you can make a case that like a few of them, a lot of people moved in the standings, if you will, up the race for like the end of the year for 2023, like wrestler of the year or most outstanding. I think a lot of people moved. I think Danielson moved. I think he made a lot of great movement in the last 2 or 8 weeks, whatever you want to call it. I think that Moxie did as well. So like we'll see how it shakes up come award season. Because I've only seen like the Sports Illustrated wrestler stuff so far, but like if you were someone that like with open mind on all this stuff, like a lot of AEW guys did a lot of damage and did a lot of stuff to help the promotion in their individual like campaigns for the year in this last 6-8 weeks with this Continental Classic. Like if you were to ask me what is AEW's best creative success of the year, it's Continental Classic. Unquestionably. There's nothing... I mean, unless you want to say Orange Cassidy's international title run. That's about...
Based on the Swerve. Different stuff like that, so...
Yeah. I mean, and like we're talking about both of those are like one guy. We're talking about like a group of guys. We're talking about like 12 guys.
Yeah. Samoa Joe and Eddie Kingston, the top 2 champions in this promotion. Big niggas on top, fat niggas on top. Let's go. All body sizes are accepted.
Was this them trying to recruit me back?
They was like, James, you have made the wrong decision. Stop going to the gym now. Like,
hey, James, we know how you get down. In a decade, in about 2-3 years, you'll be right back with us. But we just know we're early on the recruiting to get you back. Like, no, I think I'm good. I don't think I want to go through this again, but I appreciate it. But yeah, man, it is I've always wanted to see Eddie Kingston and Samoa Joe have a program together, and like it ain't gonna happen so now. Awesome. Yeah, because of the talking, I've always wanted them to wrestle each other, but like it ain't gonna happen now because they have to oscillate because they're too important as champions. But like eventually, somewhere down the line, I want my Eddie Kingston, Samoa Joe, big nigga feud. So big nigga trash talking feud. So hopefully I'll get that eventually.
AEW TNT title match: Christian Cage defending against Adam Copeland. And by the time this match came in the show, I never thought we would be in the position for Big Cope to have to save the AEW pay-per-view.
Can you imagine?
What?
Let's go back. Let's go back to January 2020, right? He shows back up the day that Kobe Bryant dies in a fucking helicopter crash. I don't give a fuck about pro wrestling, but I'm there watching it. And he comes back.
I don't want to see fucking Edge. I'm talking about Kobe Bryant.
Right. And he comes back after basically a decade away from pro wrestling, right? He comes back. And then he goes on to have like a super hit or miss, mostly miss comeback in WWE. If you had told me that, at the end of 2023, Big Cope is going to come out here and save the day for AEW, I'd be like, huh? What? But it happened. 2023 is weird, man. It was a weird year. Yeah. Most years are weird, but still, this was a weird year.
Yeah, it was. This was a masterclass, like as far as with these guys, wrestling geniuses, laying out a match that just gets over huge in the building. Fighting around the arena, creative spots, fighting spirit, looking like you're giving your all,
right?
And kicking the shit out of each other, quite frankly,
so,
in creative ways.
So, Rich, do you remember, like, at the end of of Edge's run in WWE, when he was doing the stuff with Judgment Day and he was working with Rey Mysterio, and they were headed towards the stuff with Dominic and Ray, and they were focusing on that. And they were doing all the smoke and mirror shit left and right. And I think that was, I think it might have been like the Clash of the Castle. Right. Where they had that match where, like, they pulled out every trick in the book and the crowd was going nuts for every single thing. And I was like, bro, this is hilarious. Because, like, some places this shit would not work at all. But, like, the crowd loved it and, like, I had fun watching it too. Edge is a smoke and mirror ass motherfucker. And, like, he has, like, the Shayna Wayne stuff, the Flaming Table, the Nick Wayne stuff, Kill Switch, pulling out the ladder, and then feeling reminiscent with the ladder, and, like, wanting to put his mouth on the ladder. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff him doing to pop the crowd. It had nothing to do with actually, like, you know, the skill of wrestling. Whatever. Like, he's a sportsman. He's a, what do you call it?
Showman.
He's a showman. He's showmanship, right? So it worked or whatever else. But it worked for the match. I'm not saying that it's like he got away with one. Like, this match was great, and it was great because of his instincts for this stuff. Like, these guys are older. They can't do the shit they used to do, but they know their history well enough, and they're fans of pro wrestling, and you can see, like, their way they think of stuff. And this stuff that I've always given Edge and Christian credit for is, like, whether a match works or not, or works as well as it should, you can always see the thought process behind their reasons for why they do this stuff. You can understand their why. Whether or not it works like gangbusters all the time or not, that's just depending on, not everyone hit bats 1,000, right? Not everyone is the Nick Jackson of putting together matches, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, you can see the thought process there. So, like, this is one of those ones where, like, they just had a good night where they put this shit together and it worked, and it was a fucking blast. Just like the first match was a blast a bit, except the Shayna Wayne thing was just, like, ridiculous, whatever. But whatever. Like, they're good together. Everyone knows their history. Everyone's bought in and knows these characters over all these years, and they're in. And, like, unless they go out there and have a snooze fest or a physical confrontation, they're always going to work together. In any promotion that knows their history or whatever else, people are going to know it. So, good for them. Like, they're here. They're able to do the things they want to do with less supervision than they would have in WWE, and I have for both of them. So, glad for them, and, like, it appears that there's going to be a third one, and, like, I hate the way they got to they're getting to the third one. It's unnecessary. It's totally unnecessary. There's a better way to get to it, but there's going to be a third one, and I'm sure it's going to go off again.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the Money in the Bank style cash in at the end, but I thought it was an ultimate Dusty finish, like, with this thing, and it was like they fucking worked me. Like, I was worked.
Money in the Bank cash in.
Then I was like, I should be upset at this. Like, I don't like it. Ideologically, I don't like it, but I don't like it in storyline either, because Big Cole whooped that ass. Fuck that. He beat all their ass. What a strange turn of events.
Yeah. What did Rick Rude say? Or not Rick Rude. Rick Rude. When he showed up on both shows, he showed up on both Monday shows. He's like, what a difference a day makes or whatever else. Like, what a difference a promotion change makes. Like, some of the stuff that Edge is doing was so bad. Like, the monologue, like he's fucking Clint Eastwood at the RNC to this. Oh my God. It's so much. Yeah.
Like, bro, I did not have very good things to say about Big Coke for quite a while.
That match he had with Orton at WrestleMania?
Bro, so bad. All the laying on the mat that he was doing, like,
and it was just like, yeah.
And don't
get me wrong, his first match back with Kill Switch, he was doing that shit too.
And when he would give those interviews and stuff about the younger wrestlers and stuff like that. And
Can we get into that now?
Be my guest.
So Edge, when it first, I want to say maybe like a year or two ago when he was on WWE, he was talking about, like, the young generation doing all this crazy shit, and I'm like, is this Adam Copeland? Is Adam Edge Copeland saying, Sexton Hardcastle saying not to do the crazy shit when he was a guy that was a mid-card guy, that was 6'4" with a good look, that did all this crazy shit with his tag team friend, and then got over because he was doing the crazy shit. People remember him doing the crazy shit. This sounds a bit hypocritical. Like, for him to be in the position that these other people, that most people are, and then, like, say, don't do the things that got me over to where I am, where, like, I am a legend now in this business. That's fucking ridiculous. And sure enough, he gets his first big ass match in AEW. What's he do? He takes a fucking sunset flip bomb off of the ladder. He couldn't.
It was almost like it was Cap.
He couldn't get even 3 months in this promotion without immediately, like, betraying the shit he claims he was. That he's now, I'm the old elder statesman. You know, he's like, I'm the bum bee this. I'm telling people not to do that. I write about selling drugs, but now I'm telling people not to do that shit no more. Nah, you still in the trap.
Hold on. Edge did that. Hopefully you won't have to go through that. Yes.
Exactly what that was. Nah, man. So yeah, sure enough, he went out there and did that, and it happens so often, but, like, even though it happens pretty often, I still like to revel in it. James Boy spotted it out, called it out, and sure enough, I was right. I don't think, it's a show. I'm sorry, it's a show. Like, we all have to talk about stuff. We are wrong from time to time, but man, like, I would love to see, like, what our
the One Nation Radio compilation of all the times we was right.
I would like not even that. Like, I would like to know what, like, our win-loss record is, right? Like, how they have, like, now you have people that, like, they actually track, like, their betting averages over the years now.
Oh, yeah.
Spread, so they can be like, all right, look, man, I won 58% of my best against the spread this year. Like, you say whatever you want to about me, can't say anything about me being wrong, because look, if I was taking this shit to Vegas, I would have won, right? I would love to see this. I feel like we are right more often than not. And this was another one where it's like, this is Cap. And people were, I had a couple people were like, look, man, he went through that shit. Maybe he's telling people, not to do this. I was like, yeah, maybe. But it's also hypocritical because he did all that shit to be the person to be able to voice this stuff. If he never did this shit, no one ever gave a fuck about what he had to say about none of this stuff. And now, back in the big spot, he out here bouncing his brain off the fucking back of the mat. So, yeah,
man.
For
the love of the game. For the love of the game.
Yeah, for the love of the game. Good point. For the love of the game. Yeah, man. He want to be a ball player like everybody else.
Right. How did Pimp C say? Everybody want a ball.
It's crazy that wrestlers think the ball in his brain damage and fucking up your neck. Yeah, man, it's all about rattling your brain inside your skull and fucking up your C2s and C3s. Dummies. Sick bunch these people are.
Yeah. Thank God for them. Somebody got to do it.
Right. Somebody got to do this stupid shit. It ain't going to be me. Other people talk about, I don't know about you, but, like, people do stuff about the military. I'm like, hey, man, you gotta. I respect the military because they go out there doing shit. They out there doing the shit that I will never do. I've been in there. I've been there like Ali, except less noble. Like, ain't about no Viet Cong ever called me niggas. Like, I ain't going over there. Period. Yeah. Point blank.
This boy will not go.
No, I'm not going, and I ain't noble neither. I'm just a coward. So whatever.
You're just a naysayer,
right?
You're just a naysayer.
Oh my God. Oh boy, let a naysayer know. That was a crazy one today, man.
Yeah. CBS title match. Julia Hart versus Abaddon. An offense to eyeballs everywhere.
This shit sucked. This shit was in slow-mo. You know how I always talk about, like, Shuri, how she saves her kicks to the closing stretch?
Yeah.
This was a house rules match where the rule for Abaddon she selected was to be able to bite. If Abaddon saved the fucking bite like Shuri saved the kicks, and the shit sucked. It was bad. And the match was slow. And then just to further add insult to injury, Sky Blue brings her ass out there to interfere in the match. I'm like, It was already bad enough. They're gonna bring out another motherfucker that's no business being on screen again out here. Like, God damn it! I just can't get a break from this woman.
Yo,
like she's a tag wrestler. Just let her be in tags and tell her to get the fuck off screen. Anyway,
so they were chanting, "This is spooky."
Yes,
it was like,
and the only redeeming part about it is like, because of Julia's character, like she has like the way she acts things is she makes a smirk, and the smirk actually popped me because she's acknowledging it, but like she's doing it in a way that like actually makes sense for her character. Like, I don't know if you remember when Ricky Starks was wrestling, or it was the team Taz thing versus Sting and Darby, and Ricky Starks talking about Darby and said that man looks all sorts of ridiculous, and like he said something that genuinely popped Darby, but Darby couldn't laugh his ass off, but so he had to smirk because that's his character, is to be, you know, a smirky person. And like that's the same thing Julia Hart did when she heard like this is spooky. She's like, this is fucking dumb, but I have to play it off some way. So I give her props for playing that in a way that's actually true to her character, right? But the rest of this shit, throw it out into the bin. Burn it in fire. Sorry, since we saying bin, right? Into the aluminium bin. put it in there for people to get it and waste. It's bad, man.
I don't know why we were subjected to this. I don't know why we have to pretend. I don't know.
Low speed.
That's too fast.
Okay, fair enough. This shit was bad, man. It was bad.
And the CBS belt is always going on after the women's title. I don't get it why they do this. This is like one of the worst. It's the bathroom break title. Have we figured that out now? Absolutely. This is like one of the worst matches that has ever aired on a pay-per-view in AEW. This is very bad.
NJ does PR. Has he ever heard me say that shit before? Slower than molasses in the winter? Because normally I say slower than molasses in a Boston January. But whatever.
Jesus.
But yeah, whatever. Maybe great minds think alike. Maybe I got it from the same place he got it from. But yeah, anyway. Man.
This was like. This was the culmination of that 100 minutes that James was talking about. And it was like, bro, where are we at?
Hey, man. So, after the interference from Sky Blue, Julia gets her into the ring to go for the finish. She goes for her moonsault, her Kibashi moonsault that people rave about because they ain't never seen Kenta Kibashi wrestle before. And then what does she do? She over-rotates and lands on her fucking feet and then drops to her knees and lands on, and then from there covers.
Turns out
Abaddon.
It was a Charlotte Flair moonsault.
I feel like it was worse than any other Charlotte moonsault I ever saw. I never seen Charlotte like completely. Like I've seen her land basically like on her knees. I never seen her basically like land on her fucking feet and then fall forward.
I'm sure we could find.
I mean, maybe you can. Maybe you can. All I know is like I've seen Charlotte like have to land a bunch of moonsaults off to the floor or whatever else. Being that size and have to figure out a way not to like destroy these people that she's bigger than and she has no business doing this onto anyway. Whatever else, so I give her the benefit down on that kind of stuff anyway. But her in the ring, or
she might want an alternate finish. Like she needs to come up with a secondary finisher.
She has a submission.
That's true. She needs an impact finisher though, because like I don't look at her as no submission specialist. So I don't know. It's maybe she uses that forearm across like the back, that sliding forearm across the back of the neck.
The spookiness makes him tap.
Stupid.
They scared. I don't know. Whatever, man. This shit's
yeah. 8-man tag. Chris Jericho.
Before we look, man. Julia Hart and Sky Blue the other week looked like a team has some life as a tag team. They're tag wrestlers. They're not singles wrestlers, but one of them is a singles champion, so it is what it is. So that's the life you gotta live. But there is nothing, and in the years that we have seen, or year or two that we've seen out of Abaddon that suggests that that they are a TV performer at all. I give them lots of credit for the actual grind they put in to, change their body and be in better shape to do this or whatever else. There's dedication that's actually there. They're working
presentation,
hard. They're working hard. They're just not good enough wrestlers. That's all it is. Not a good enough wrestler right now. Where they get XP to get better, if there even is a floor to get better or a ceiling that's higher or potential there, I don't know.
Stardom and Showcase.
It don't need... You want me to shut this fucking thing down, don't you?
That's for Niagara Driver. We sending them over there.
Do not send Niagara Driver don't take too kindly to outsiders. Do not send that shit to the World Wonder Ring. Absolutely the fuck not. Nah, man. Not good enough. Not yet, anyway. If they'll ever get there, not good enough now. I don't know.
8-man tag. Chris Jericho, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting defeating Big Bill, Ricky Starks, Konosuke Takeshita, and Powerhouse Hobbs. An awkward match, to put it lightly. All the reactions, we talked about Chris Jericho earlier in the show.
Yep.
They did sing a song when he came out. And then
did they?
They definitely sang the song when he came out. Then throughout the match, it just was like they started booing him after the music stopped. Then people would try to cheer for Jericho a little bit, but they got shouted down. And every time he got in, it was almost like, why is LeBron James touching the ball in Cleveland? Like, it was not to that venomous level, but it was noticeable.
Okay.
And then with this match, there was just tons of blown spots everywhere. And this ended with there was a great part between Darby Allin and Konosuke Takeshita. I was like,
oh yes, I want that match.
This is one of a million matches in AEW that you may have never thought about. That's like, hey, this would go crazy.
Like the helicopter blue thunder bomb off the second rope that Takeshita gave Darby was fucking amazing. Like that is the finish. That is the finish to like some 4 1/4 star like pay-per-view match that went on like third. We never got the match, but like that's the finish.
And as James mentioned, like Jericho was doing like different spots with these guys to try to like at least like flip the heat a little bit and get Hobbs some shine and get Bill over. I think Darby Allin and Big Bill had a good showing together.
Yeah.
And then from there,
was a Sammy. Who did Sammy have a good exchange with at the end?
Ricky Starks.
Yeah, Ricky Starks and Ricky Starks and Guevara have good chemistry, and it made me think like, wow, these are two people that were both around the TNT title that I don't recall ever really interacting with each other, and given how they wrestled each other in that little bit of time, like they probably would have been, especially for Ricky Starks, like somebody that he could have like definitely benefited from wrestling.
Yeah, and they came up together on.
Okay, yeah, from the Texas stuff. Yeah, okay.
All that shit.
Makes
like
sense.
They came and they're really good friends.
Okay, I didn't know that.
From what I understand. So like, I've always like long maintained, I think they should, like, they are what the other needs, like whether it's align them or make them go against each other. Like it's, as I know how.
Can you say that again, Rich? You broke up.
I said, Sammy pinned Ricky. I laughed because I knew how, anytime Ricky started to lose a match or pay-per-view, how people react.
Gotcha.
So that sets up like that tag match. Eventually they're going to do Late Sex Gods against Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
Yep.
So Swerve Strickland beats Dustin Rhodes. We talked about that one a little bit earlier. Swerve looked so cool during this match. Long Island was down for whatever Swerve wanted to do to Dustin. I like his gear too. Like I think Swerve is like definitely like one of the contenders for the Savage Banks Award again. Just like so cool. Dustin for his part came out there and they got a little under 10 minutes to do their thing. It looks like I thought they were going to go for more like a quick pace, quick dominant kind of thing for Swerve. they did the ankle injury so Dustin could do the sell. That first like leap and fall he kind of did, like where he acted like he couldn't walk. I thought it was so great. I was like, bro, they don't make him like this old worker motherfucker. Like they don't make them like Dustin Rhodes like anymore.
Except for like Tanahashi, I think his leg went once.
Yeah.
But look, I don't recall like 2 minutes later, like Tanahashi goes out here for the Canadian Destroyer.
He had to do something to show us he still has some fighting spirit.
The Canadian Destroyer to show some fighting spirit?
Yes.
Hey, man.
Absolutely.
I'm just glad that Antonio Inoki does not speak English. He would have rolled over in his grave hearing that. Okay? You hear me? You understand?
She did not, you know?
Oh, my God. Holy shit.
But, yeah, very dominant win. Of course, this wasn't the match that we thought we were getting with Swerve and Keith Lee. I was very disappointed in
same.
Not getting it. And quite frankly, I've made my peace with it never happening. So, you know, we'll see. Swerve had some comments in the post-show presser that were pretty interesting. He was like, you know, I'm not waiting for Keith Lee anymore.
Yeah. I think they're interesting because like that could be his real feelings or he's working us. Either way is good, both ways.
It works. You know, he came out Swerve with a jacket that Frank Lucas would have wanted him to take off.
Yeah, he was too hot. He was too hot. Like this is how you get people asking you who the hell are you? Yeah.
Look, I communicate quite frequently with Swerve. I do not want the feds on my line, so you can't be just showing up with this coat like this, looking that expensive. You know, they might think you have work in the community. But a strong one for Swerve, and you know, with the title changing to Samoa Joe, Swerve's one of the guys he mentioned, like in his thing. So, you know, a lot of eyes on 2024. I think it's going to be Swerve Strickland's belt to win. I think it's going to be. He's definitely the people's choice right now.
Yeah.
And there's just like
as a heel, but then again, the last time someone was people's choice, he was a heel too. So.
Right. So like, I don't know if they're going to flip him eventually or what.
I don't think they have to.
Yeah, like
I think he wrestles such a exciting brand of wrestling against, you know, if he's wrestling people at the top of the card, it like, you know, it doesn't really matter his alignment. Like the crowd's going to cheer for whoever, both of them, and have the dealing chance regardless of whatever else. So you know, so I think he can make it work. And you know, there's a few people like that. Like Danielson can modulate between heel or face heel, who he's facing too. So like this ain't like some new concept to AEW.
Yeah, and it's like I felt like they structured the match in a certain way, really trying to lean into like sort of being like evil and despicable, but like it don't matter right now. Like it does not matter. Like they have chosen.
It's not even that so much that it didn't matter. Is that like he did that and the crowd liked him for it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's New York. It's sick. There's a bunch of sick motherfuckers up there, you know.
Yeah. Like, oh, he's from Texas. Fuck him up.
Yep. They treat this shit like it's a Source Awards.
Yeah.
Anything on New York is getting booed.
Yeah. But yeah, AEW Women's World Title match: Toni Storm versus Riho. This was okay. It wasn't like
it wasn't. It was short of good. It was short of 3 stars, is what I would say. But it has moments. I think that the crowd was mostly behind Toni Storm, but it was in a way where it was like, it seemed like the crowd also didn't. The crowd almost seemingly dismissed Riho at times.
And why wouldn't you? And why wouldn't you at this point? And they, you know, they gave Riho a few wins on TV, a couple different like attacks. It's like where
Rich, you broke
they
up
have
again. You said that they gave they gave Riho some wins.
Yeah, they gave Riho some wins, and they gave her, you know, some run-ins at the end. But this is where they got an opportunity to look and be like, yo, why was the reaction like this? And it's like, we saw the video package with the translations, but like you never sat Riho down like on the show and like translated her stuff and let her say something or whatever. Right. And aside from like that video package or whatever,
but
you did not put the work in.
That's true.
And everybody cheered for the gimmick.
Right. I almost feel like at certain points with Riho, it's like, that is the gimmick. It was like, we don't want her to talk because like, even translate, because like that ruins the aura / mystique of like, of the adorableness and like the kawaii factor or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. But it's like, for me, it's like, you know, I've said this for a long time with her now. It's like, bro, just translate the shit she says. It ain't that fucking hard. You do it with Takeshi, you do it with other Japanese people that show up. I don't understand why, like, is the translator just not available when she shows up? I don't understand it. Like, will she just say, nah, you gotta pay me extra to translate this? I don't know. or Nakazawa does the same thing? I have no idea. But
hell,
yeah,
let her
like,
grab the mic.
I've only seen her talk on AEW television I'm not talking English, but like verbalize anything like 5 times. And this company's been around for 5 years. She's been a 2-time champion or whatever, or the first champion. So it's weird.
Let her grab the mic and yell in Japanese or something. Like, let her.
No, you let her do that. They even let her do the Oscar thing. Yeah,
it's like, let her try to connect emotionally somehow. Like, it's like, we love when she shows up. We love when she does the run-ins. We love the fits. Like when she shows up, it's like, hey man, like we get to see, you know.
Love when she shows up with the pipe.
We like the pipe. Pause. We like the pipe.
Oh my god!
I think that, you know, aside from the you know, the people that are unfriendly to her, everyone likes her.
We don't care what they think. Fuck them.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, fuck them. But it's like, yeah, there's something there that they're not getting with her, like that is there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but Toni Storm, the gimmick rolls on. So we'll see. You know where Timeless Toni goes. The post show presser was pretty funny, where she called out Wendy Richter and said she's gonna fuck her up.
That was funny as shit.
I was fucking screaming.
Same. I said to you, like, I already saw it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Miro versus. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I really like the gimmick as far as the comedy aspect of it. I don't. It's definitely gotten her over. I don't know how it's going to get other people over. Like if the idea is Mariah is involved in this, like I don't know how it's actually going to get Mariah over, right? Like she's been around, she's been a part of it, or whatever. It's like Luther not getting over it, like whatever. He's a prop. It's fine. Whatever. He's a butler. It is what it is. But like, I wonder what the next step is in this to actually like, in fact, get Mariah over. Because that should be the point of her being a part of it.
She's making her in-ring debut this week on Dynamite.
Yeah,
so,
do we know who she's wrestling yet?
Not yet. I assume we're going to start finding the card out tomorrow.
Okay.
And, of course, Wednesday. But Miro versus Andrade. What an interesting environment for this one.
I feel like the match was good, except for like when they focused on like CJ like yelling during the match at ringside. Like it detracted from the match. But I did like the part, like them knocking the hell out of each other at times. But
they had a couple of moments in the match, but at the beginning it was so slow. It felt like it went really long, and it felt like the crowd didn't care about either of them until the angle in the match happened or whatever, right?
It definitely got better when the angle happened. And
it was like, yeah, everybody kind of knew Andrade was like the news that broke right before the show. It was like, yeah, Andrade is finishing up tonight. And this crowd already proved they're able to digest whatever the fuck Twitter's talking about and react to it. So, funny enough, I saw people sending out graphics like Miro versus Andrade, and then it's Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 20 and shit. But I was like, not quite. They did the opposite. I was like, they did the opposite. Instead of like shitting on them, they gave them nothing. It felt like, and it was just like, we're just gonna look at you.
Look, man. Look. We've all seen that Brock Lesnar Goldberg WrestleMania 20 match. They hated both of their asses for leaving. So it was not that. It was absolutely was not that.
Yeah, I was like, it was like a different style of that. I was like, man, it kind of, it dried, lose to Miro, whatever, and he's on his way back to WWE. I don't know if he was on the show tonight, but he was mentioned by Tony Khan in the press conference. Like, he did wrap up. This guy balled this last year, or last half of the year, especially in the C2, and redeemed a lot. He had kind of an up and down run. It didn't really seem like they knew what to do with him.
Yep. I mean, think of how he debuted. Yeah,
like they're, and I don't know exactly what WWE is really going to do with him that's really compelling either. I think he's just going to join the race war in his designated faction and under Triple H with the LWO and whatever. Like all the main event slots are locked in WWE. So
I'll say
I don't know.
I'll say this. Look, we've seen enough of Andrade. We've seen enough of Escobar in the ring. We know who's better.
Oh, it's not close, and we know he's younger.
It ain't close. even with Andrade at his size, doing as little as he's ever done as a flyer, he's still.
I mean, Andrade.
It's still a whole nother level.
A tale as old as time. Tell me if you heard this before. Nigga gains 35 pounds of muscle and WWE wants to rehire him. Like, a tale as old as time.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about this. Andrade's like 5'8", right?
I think he's a little taller than that.
5'9"? How much do you think? Like, I think we talked about this before, right?
Bro, he's at least 240.
No, not even close.
Bro, he's huge.
He's huge, but he's still 5'9", 5'8". Like, is he bigger than Benoit? Peak Roy Benoit.
Yes.
How much bigger? 5 pounds bigger?
It feels like Benoit topped out probably like at 220, but he was like shorter. Like, Andrade feels bigger to me. That might be because wrestlers in general are smaller now, but
that's what it is. Like, there is no way. Andrade, there is no way Andrade weighs more than 230. There's no way. There's no way.
He's billed at 5'11".
He's not 5'11". He's 5'11" the same way MJF's 5'11".
But yeah, and then like, it just never took off with him or whatever. And there was different times where he was doing nothing. Then there was other times they, tried to focus on him a little bit. But, he came in, did his thing, he's heading back. So, good for him, whatever. He honored his dates. He showed up, and that's all I really cared about. It wasn't like he was like, of course, he had the thing where he was trying to get in a fight, but obviously that's kind of a complicated situation. He was called out, look like a bitch if you don't answer, blah, blah, blah. But overall, it's like I would take the run. Like, he gave us there was plenty of solid matches in there. It never really went to the next level that, I don't think. Right. But I don't think that was, he's a part of a group of guys seemingly that are under the spell, of thinking they can do better elsewhere.
Well, so. I mean, here's the thing, right? With Vince gone, there is a factor of hey man, I was in NXT, Triple H liked me. Right? So you have this whole class of people that were NXT guys or WWE guys that were treated well in NXT, then got to main roster and was treated like shit. And they remember who was treating them well, obviously, because they have memories, right? And the person that was treating them well is in charge. So obviously they think there's a better chance here than there or whatever else, right? The grass is always greener, always. So, I mean, the hell, that's the reason why a lot of them ended up in AEW, right? So, it's good for the industry that people can go back and forth, whatever else, and people can have runs in both places. Like Andrade, I mean, he has a number of great matches in NXT besides WWE. He had a number of great matches in AEW, and he'll go to, and hopefully he'll go back to AEW, have another number of great matches or whatever. So we'll see whatever happens. But, if we were going to be honest about the number of people that have came from WWE to WWE and looked at the actual number, he still comes out in the top half of people that acclimate to the AEW, regardless of the part of like there's a class of people that came in at a certain time, and a lot of people had this apprehension to like accept them because like it's WWE and fed bad. So like you look at what he's done, what he put on tape for AEW, and like it's more satisfactory to me, right? Like I mean, because the person he was in the ring with, I'd rather have the Andrades and the Miros. And I like Miro still, but it's still like he don't want to go out there and have a great match unless he gonna win.
I was like, there's two guys in this match, and I think the wrong one. People were happy about it. One guy leaving. I'm like, hey man, what about the other guy in the ring? Like, I don't.
Right, and don't get me wrong. Like, I really like the match he had with Hobbs at Wrestle Kingdom. That match was great, but Andrade got like 5 of those for everyone Miro has. So it's like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's we saw Malachi Black on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen this. Like, I saw it. Someone had mentioned it was like
someone said that he wasn't getting a singles match because he wasn't doing jobs, and he's like, look, man, that's not true. That's bullshit. And then he's like, this is my only tweet of 2024. This is why I don't like this fucking app. Yeah.
Like, well, we can check when the last one was, and if he wants to prove us all wrong, let us know anytime, big guy. Anytime you like to prove everyone wrong, you have all the opportunity. So it's it's a lot, man. But the opener, 8-man tag, C2 All-Star game. This was excellent. Great way to start this show. Guys that went on this fucking run this past month, probably beat up, but like all kind of realized, hey, I think we were part of something special here. And lots of nice cross matchups in here. Bryan Danielson and Jay White, a match that we didn't get in the tournament.
And it was funny because like it's Nassau Coliseum, and it like
everyone got pops in this shit when they came out.
Well, Jay White got a pop that wasn't nearly as loud as I thought it'd be until he got in there with Daniels, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And there's no real Jay White match that I ever think of be like, oh, that's the match I want to see. He's a great wrestler. It's like, oh, I definitely want to see that. I never think of it. But like once they got in the ring together, it was like the crowd popped for it. Like it was a big moment for them. And I was like, okay, all right. But yeah, there were so many different things and matchups, whatever else, that were just fun. And, seeing, based off their match earlier in the C2, seeing like Claudio and Brody King in there together again, it was like, people said, people talk about like, what are the stories of this thing? And then you see like people that had matches get in there, Lethal and Briscoe again, getting in the ring together. And it's like, but I thought they didn't tell stories. Why did this crowd react like this to these people that had these matches earlier? Like seeing Garcia and seeing Brody again after the upset. They told stories, They told stories. So like, it's just funny how like the crowd reacted to all this stuff that happened in these, that in this all-star thing from matches that happened prior. And like these matchups, it was really fun. And like there was fast-paced action and like great interactions. And yeah, man, like I love this. Like this is like when you get like the crazy like before or Korakuen before or after the Grand Prix when they just throw a bunch of people that are going to be in the Grand Prix together. It was awesome.
Brody King, Jay Lethal, Jay White, and Rouge, that is Team Chop right there. Like, there was a Claudio and Rouge exchange that was just out of this world.
That started the match.
Yeah. And it was just like, hey, man, this brother Rouge,
yep,
he's increased his stock, I think, tenfold.
And with Andrade gone, there's a power vacuum.
Yep. Yeah, so like that's World's End,
yep.
And it was like, I thought half the show was like actually really good, and then the other half was not. So, but yeah, it was a long night. But I guess James, like, without further ado, I guess I need to think about how I am going to hit the music.
Yeah, so Stardom had their annual, at this point, Sumo Hall show on the 29th. The tradition is 3 years in a row on the 29th. Last year I was there. This year I cannot be there. Yes, Stardom Dream Queendom 2023. This was a very good show. Maybe, I wouldn't say great. It's a very good show. The card lent itself to where it could not have been great. There were so many things of just kind of just multi-person matches, all-star kind of put together matches, whatever else. But it did have a solid last 5 matches on this card. So I'm going to go through up until we get to the last 4 matches, and then we'll move on. But you had a 6-man tag match of rookies and Miyu Amasaki. Also, 6-man tag match, basically rookies plus Miyu Amasaki, and the new tag team of Miyu Amasaki and Tomoka Inaba's sister Azusa. They end up winning. And also like the rookies from this year that, all just debuted, a lot of them just debuted at this show. They're having a 1-4 tournament, a 4-person tournament for the rookie of last year. They're doing it. It's a single elimination. So I think that's the opening 3 matches of the 1-4 show or 1-3 show that's coming soon. Then you end up having basically 8-person tag match, or sorry, you had a 4-way tag team match. So you had Gazai, you had Ami and Saki versus Mai Sakurai and Tekla. And then Queen's Quest had Hina and Lady C. And then you had basically Cosmic Colors. You had Saki and Yuna Mizumori. And at the end of it, you have Ami end up winning by, I forgot who she ended up pinning, but she ended up, no, it was Saki and them getting the win, I think. So anyway, match okay. Nothing to write home about. So then you end up getting Mayu's return match, 8-person tag match, started with Oedo Tai. So, Mayu, Ida, Hazuki, and Hanan versus Kid, Roaka, Rina, and Death. Final closing stretch goes down to Mayu versus Fuki and Death, and then Mayu fucking murders her. After it basically had like almost like a high speed contest at the end, like of near falls, whatever else. At the end, Mayu just murders her and puts her away. It was good to see like. Starlight Kid comes out and she has like the MK sisters like over mask or whatever else with the red and the blue and everything, and then Mayu comes out, she's wearing her red and blue gear or whatever else, and then then Kid comes out in Oedo Tai fashion. They go out there and they start immediately beating up on the baby face and start fighting in the crowds and throwing people into the seats and everything, and Kid grabs Mayu and throws her into the seats. So I was like, one day like they gonna reconcile and I'm gonna cry like a fucking baby, but it ain't here yet, but it's gonna happen. Like you see her wearing the MK sister stuff. So then you end up getting this one match that like just seems random as hell to me. Just seems random as hell. So it's Azumi and 7-Up as a tag team versus Shuri, Mina, and May Sierra. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. So, match is fun. Obviously, they have some high speed stuff with Sierra and Azumi. The heartbeat of the match is Nanai in there with Mina. I think this is more of a Mina is still trying to prove herself. So she's out here facing Nanai, and they do the closing stretch stuff with Nanai and Mina. And they out here basically kicking out of the kitchen sink with each other. They kicking out each other's biggest shit. And then the end ultimately Nanai wins. And like the crowd much to JD and Niagara Dragon's chagrin. The crowd's yelling Nanai and passion, and they doing the fierce things in the background, everything. And the match is over because the match is really good, obviously. But yeah, like Nanai gets to win, and like Nanai and Azumi talk about at the post match about like she left around the time that Azumi was coming up, or she was about out the door or whatever else. Like, one of her first matches was with Nanai or whatever else, and talked about like, Azumi, taking forever for her to train because she was so young when she started training before she could debut and everything. So I don't know what that means for like the future or whatever else, but like just keep that noted for whatever weird thing may come up in as far as, possibly people changing up the status quo of some of these lineups for amongst the factions. So yeah. Then you end up getting like the heart of the show where we're at now. So you end up getting the tag team title match, the newly crowned second reign for Aphrodite, Saya Kamitani, and Utami versus Oedo Tai, Momo, and Nasukatora. In the video package, they showed, earlier this year, the Oedo Tai Queen's Quest cage match. They showed the funniest fucking clip that I love so much of Momo and Utami and Kamitani at the top of the cage, and Momo hands Kamitani the bat, and Kamitani chooses. She chooses by knocking Momo's ass out the fucking sky with the fucking bat. So they had a match, and like, me personally, like I've never really loved the tag team matches that Aphrodite has. They're high floor, low ceiling to me when I watch them wrestle. Like, I don't think like, okay, they're in a tag match with this tag team, so I think they can go get 4.5 stars. Normally it's like, I'm hoping for like 3.75 to 4. If they, and sometimes I don't feel like they even get the 4 sometimes with their match. But they're obviously better than they were when they were the tag champs together. So, problem is, they're in there with Momo, Momo is still fucking great, but her tag partner's Natsuko. So they go on a close stretch, and it's Utami and it's Natsuko, and Natsuko she just can't. The match didn't match because they're in there with Natsuko. But basically, this match is telling a story to like, this Oedo Tai being a nemesis of Queen's Quest all throughout the year, and even like dating back to when Momo turned on Queen's Quest to get to Oedo Tai. This shit's over. They double pin both of them in the ring. It's over. They beat their ass. Natsuko tried to say something to Utami. Utami pie faced her and then basically like kicked her out the ring. It's over. This feud is done with. They can't come back. They lost the battle in the war. Sorry, Velcage, it's a wrap. They picked the fight. They got their ass beat. They lost a member. They tried to get the tag title. They got their ass beat again. It's a wrap. They got thoroughly thrashed. So, but the match was good. I'd probably give 3.5. So then the third from the top, you get the NJ Strong Women's title match, Julia versus Megan Bayne. This is a tale of two matches. The first match is Julia.
I heard this was good.
Sorry?
I heard this was good.
It got good in the second half. Really good in the second half. So the first half of the match is like Julia just can't do nothing with this overpowering woman. Julia's weak. It's the Julia I don't like because I don't think it fits Julia's strengths and what she's in her career. Like, I don't think she's a good worker underneath. I just don't think she is. I don't think she's ever been. Except for like when Mayuki's fucking murdering her, but that's it. So it's just not working. Nothing's happening. I forgot she gets something lucky, and then from there it turns into bomb throwing, and Julia ends up on the underneath at one point in time, like she's about to get finished, and then Megan pulls out the F5, and the crowd buys it again. Same thing with the TAM match for the red belt early in the summer, where it's like they've seen this woman put people away tons and tons of times with this F5. She's gotten her up on the shoulder, or she's gotten these people up on her shoulders multiple times. They slipped and escaped. They finally got her, with the F5. Are you going to kick out? And the crowd totally buys it. And it was a great near fall. So then, Julia at the end hits her with a million moves. The movie monster won't die. she ends up hitting one last move, and it slaps on the choke and it makes her taps her out, or not taps her out, but makes her pass out because she couldn't put her away for a pin. She just had to choke her out. So, match got really compelling in the closing stretch. Really compelling. I'll probably go 3 3/4, maybe 4 on it, but it just starts slow, like especially because the match is longer than you expect it needed to be. But match is fun. I would recommend it to you. Then you get to the semi-main event. Oh, sorry. Before we move on from there, Trisha Dora, she does a video package. She's in front of the LA Dojo New Japan sign, and she says that like she's the next challenger, so they're gonna have a match eventually. I don't know when, but it's on deck. So we get the white belt match, Ano versus Mirai. The video package shows their match from earlier in the year, or not, a few months ago, where they went to a time limit draw. So they're having a match, and there is a weird moment where Ano hits an enziguri. Mirai drops, and then Ano boosts her out to the floor, and it's early in the match. And that gets a 20, and it teased a 20 count, and a count out from that with that. And I was like, what? It's weird. And then from that moment on, in the closers, you remember the Grand Prix match that Julia and Ano had, where it's like, the match is at a certain level, and then like the closing stretch is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one of those where like, the match is at a certain level, and then like they kick it into gear, and when they kick it into gear, it's like, if you had did this for like the the last 2/3 match and the last 1/3 match, this might be like some 4 3/4 level shit. It was incredible. Near falls, incredible like desperation, like incredible like plate callbacks to the previous match that went to the time limit draw. And then like ultimately Ano ends up hitting like her big suplex on Mirai. Mirai gets pinned, and like Mirai is just, she's devastated. She's upset. Yeah. Ano wants to give her, wants to shake her hand, but Mirai just can't like bring herself to do it. So she just rolls out the ring, and like Ano respects that. And I didn't mention this, but like after the first match, Tam came out. This is the first time like she's been in front of a Stardom crowd since she fucked up her knee, and she talked about how like she'll be back. And you know. And she caught a promo about like, you know, difference about her ups and downs and thinking about retiring, but ultimately like, you know, the love from the fans is the reason why she wants to come back and everything. So she will come back, and she wants to like pay back her fans that she feels she owes, saved her, and that kind of stuff.
She's doing it for you, Velkaz. She's doing it for you.
So,
but no, I like this match. The finishing sequence, as you mentioned, was
phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Just like that, if you like kickouts and seeing like who's gonna top who, pause, and like, yo, so who's the last person with the gun?
Yeah,
this was sensational.
This was kitchen sink wrestling. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mentioned the Tam thing because I also wanted to mention Natsupoi. Poi, this is her first time. I think she's seconding Ano to the ring. And she's been out, you know, with a bad neck. She had a similar injury that Utami had earlier in the year too. Just a lot of people getting dropped on their necks. It's almost as if like you drop people on their necks a lot, like will cause neck injuries. It's almost like that, right? So after the match, Ano, you know, after the post match, after Mirai left or whatever else, Natsupoi and Ano talk to each other on the apron, or while Natsupoi's on the apron, and they do a picky swear thing like, we're going to have a match eventually. And it's like, and post match they mentioned like, we don't, you know, we already did the shit with the strap match. We're not doing that again. We're just gonna have a match. We'll have, you know, pure rules, not pure rules like ROH pure rules, but like it's a regular singles match. And I can't wait to see that, because like they're great together when they have a singles when they have just no fucking convoluted thing like a strap match, just a regular rules match. They're dynamite together. I also want to note that like, since 2021, when Tam won the white belt, Rich, do you know the title lineage since Tam won the white belt?
So Tam won the white belt. It was was Tam, Saya.
Who beat Tam to get it? Yep. Then Saya lost it to who?
To who did she lose to? She did not lose to Mina. She lost to Mina. Okay. She lost to Mina.
Yep.
Lost to Tam.
Yep. Then Tam put over Mirai with it.
To Mirai.
And then Mirai just put it on Ano. This belt's entitled title history in the last 2 years now, or 3 years at this point now, revolves around are you someone that has been put over or functions in this company around Tam Nakano? This is Tam Nakano's fucking belt now. Actually, I can go back even further, right? I can go back even further. Julia won the belt by choking out Tam, and Tam passed out. I can go back further if I want to. So it goes from Julia won it off by beating Tam. Tam won it by beating Julia. Kamatani won it by beating Tam. Mina won it by being the second in Cosmic Angels by beating, or third at that point in time, by beating Kamatani. Tam took it off of fucking Mina. Tam put it onto Mirai, and now the number 3 in Cosmic Angels has it. This is Tam Nakano's fucking belt. They might well change this shit to the Tam Nakano Championship belt. So, anyway, I want to point it out.
I can't even say it. Tamsuya Naito?
Tamsuya Naito. That's nasty. So, move on to the main event. Video package replays the closing stretch of the Grand Prix final between between Micah and Suzu. Obviously in the match happened, the crowd overwhelmingly was with Micah. And, crowd cheered for her when the match started, the bell rang, and then when Micah was in trouble, and people thought she was in danger of losing, the crowd really chanted very hard for Micah to get off the mat and fight. Ultimately, she could not, and she ended up getting hit with a big twisting spinning dive move from Suzu. Suzu won the Grand Prix. Obviously, she was set to face Tam, but Tam blew her knee out. So, what they did was they had Suzu's place reserved for Sumo Hall, and then they had a tournament for the other challenger, and they were going to crown new champion. Micah won that tournament by beating in the final Momo. So, same thing happened. Match starts. Crowd overwhelmingly behind Micah, and I was like, "Hey, man, I know it's been a really weird year, Rossi, but I've watched you since 2019, and you overwhelmingly go what the crowd wants, except for this one notable time, and that was this one time. Overwhelmingly, you generally go 2 times I can think of, but overwhelmingly, like, he knows what the crowd wants. He gives the crowd what they want, and they give people their moment when they most need it at that particular time in the big spot on the big show. There's always title changes on big shows. So, and you just put the belt on someone that's like, I don't even know if they're necessarily signed with the company, but they're a new person, right? Suzu's another new person. It's like there's been a bridesmaid thing going on with Stardom. It's been going on ever since we've been watching, right? Like, the titles, the red belt and the white belt, what makes it important isn't necessarily the champion as much as it is like the champion gets the best shots from these people that are capable of being champions in their own right, and these people fail, and that shows you how awesome these titles are, because like this awesome person got their shot, gave them their best shot, and they were sent home with their blood, sweat, and tears packed the fuck up. It's been awesome ride watching Stardom this in that way. And, with the white belt and the red belt with like the Momo Watanabe's, Micah's up to this point, Tam for forever, Konami for forever, or Konami, Jungle Kiona. We've seen these people that have just like Natsupoi at this point, Starlight Kid until they finally break through. Like, we felt like these people are bridesmaids and the other people are main eventers. And Micah had a moment that it felt like they missed the opportunity with all the injuries that happened they decided to go with Suzu because they know they're going to push Suzu at some point to win these belts for the next 2 years. But the crowd wanted Micah a lot. So flash forward to this match, and they've seen like they missed opportunity at the Grand Prix. Match going down the closing stretch. Same feeling of like, Micah gets her up and gets her with a Michinoku driver. She could win this. But in the Grand Prix match, Suzu slipped out the back door and hit the reverse Rana and then went up and hit her move. Hit the big twirling moonsault thing off the top rope and won. So, closing stretch, same thing happens. Goes up for the Michinoku driver, slips out the back, reverse Rana. Then Suzu goes for the rolling German suplexes, roll through German suplex, big kick out at 3. Micah fires back up, and Micah early in the match tried to go for the Himeka running power bomb, and Suzu landed on her feet and ended up hitting with a run of kicks. This time, Micah next time gets the running power bomb, then ends up hitting 3 Michinoku drivers in a row and gets the win. Great match, best match on the show. Easy 4.5. Super fun match. Really happy. And another example, like we talked about, like just earlier, I mentioned like all the people that like have their challenges, have these great matches, and then they go away. Mike is one of those where it's just like, Jungle or Konami or anyone else where it's like Hazuki. Every opportunity they've had for one of these belts, they've had a great match. They've shown that they're capable of being challenged for this. Any opportunity they've been given in a main event situation, semi-main event situation, big match situation, in a singles match, they've held up the end of the bargain. We've seen so many people ultimately not get chosen. It was for me, it was very satisfying to see someone that I thought, we talked about this. I feel like, after probably like 2001, the end of 2001 when she lost to Utami in November in the red belt. I was like, that was the November match after she had beat Utami in the first night of the Grand Prix, and then she got the rematch and she ended up losing because they were setting up to get to the Shuri Utami match at Sumo Hall. But like, you could say that. You could even say last year, 2022, Kamitani, when Kamitani beat her for the white belt in the main event in Fukuoka, Micah's hometown, was like, she's just never going to win one of these belts. It's never happening for her. You could be like, they've already bridesmaided her. She's going the way of Jungle Kiona. All the other people I mentioned. This never happened for her. To see someone like pull themselves out of that fucking, designation, it was very satisfying because like, we've seen people just be like, they're great. They're never winning. To see her get that, it was very satisfying. And I was very happy.
They had her teaming with Hiroki Goto at Historic Expo.
You made that joke you made that joke in 2021 or 2022. Yeah, you made that joke. And we all made that joke. And that was months after she had lost that Fukuoka main event that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. After she lost the Grand Prix match, like the post match, like she was crying tears and she was talking about Himeka, how like she felt like she failed Himeka. And that was part of the story for this year was like, Himeka, a part of her reason for retiring was like she felt like she reached her top. There's another person that's been bridesmaided. Like the first she ever gonna get was that 2020 Grand Prix final. She just never was gonna get to the top. She was someone that, kept getting better, but ultimately that's where they were. They saw them as tag team wrestlers or someone they could just put in a main event to sell a pay-per-view and then move, or be pay-per-view and move on. And they're out of options. Obviously, we're going to either pick Utami or Kamitani to win this Grand Prix. But they got hurt. They went with Suzu. Tam got hurt. Then they had to figure out something else. And they had to go on with this. And I thought it was great. Like, I don't know if you saw her gear and her look now, but like, she looks like, if you remember when you saw her when she first came to Stardom in 2020, she looks a totally different person. Got the red hair. She doesn't have like young girl basic gear. She looks like a top star. She comes out there with an expensive, great looking robe. She has a great looking gear. She looks like a star now. And she basically wrestles, like she's always wrestled like Utami. And Utami, if you wrestle like Utami, you're fucking awesome. So like, I'm very happy for her. And the post-match, she says like, she misses who she wants to wrestle. She's like, Kamitani, come get it. Utami, come get it. Julia, come get it. Tam, when you healthy, come get it. Like it seems like they're setting the road for her to like, you might think I'm a transitional champion, whatever else, but like it seems like there's a goodwill attempt to actually like make her into a main eventer in a way that like they tried with everyone else before this. So like if they give her that run of people, it's going to work to an extent because, you know, whenever she gets a big moment with big time, high time level wrestlers on a singles platform on the main event, she's going to kill it. So I'm happy for her. And like I kept thinking of like Himeka or whatever else in the background. Like, go ahead.
But do you think she's keeping it warm for Tam? Because I think that a lot of people think that.
Okay, so
so they can go right back to Tam and Suzu, how the original plan.
I wouldn't mind that, but I think Tam's so far away that like maybe she is transitional, but like the transition is what, like April?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's not like she's gonna only have for 2 months or whatever else. I don't think that. And also like I don't think necessarily Tam. Like I think, you know, any of those 4 she mentioned, she's going through. I feel like she's going through at least 2 of them. And if she gets through at least 2 of them, we're further on than I thought we ever would have been with Micah 2 years ago. Right? So when they beat her in her hometown, so like, you know, I feel like either way this is a victory for her. So she closed off the show. They bust out the fireworks and the pyro and all that kind of stuff and the ribbons and confetti. She looks like $1,000,000. It's in red and silver. And she's dressed like matching her gear. She signs off on everything. It should be noted after you know, because Donna Mello's out there seconding Micah. After Suzu loses, Julia takes and walks off and carries Suzu off. So keep that in mind for the future storylines 2024 of like there's a reconciliation finally happened between those two. It may be the thing that breaks Micah away from Donna Del Mondo. He's like, you chose, you know, you're choosing, you know, Suzu over me. I've had enough. I'm the champion. I'm leaving. There's lots of things possibly there with that. But they do the post-match interview, or not post-match, like the pre-game or post-game press conference backstage with Micah. She's has the belt. She's sitting there. She's tired. She's happy. And then who pulls up? That's right. Himeka pulls up and congratulates her. And boy, sorry, I cried. It was such a feel-good moment. She was so happy for her. And Micah put the belt on Himeka's shoulders and everything. And then Himeka quickly took off her shoulder and gave it right back to Himeka. Gave it back to Micah and everything. And I was like, this is crazy because like that match one of the most from this year from the Yokohama Arena show was like one of the most emotional like matches of the year that I saw and everything. Like the whole thing where like Micah doesn't want to put her away because she knows like it means that like she has to retire, and that's her tag team partner and her best friend and all that kind of stuff in wrestling. And like they're one of my favorite tag teams, just watching 2 big tough people beat the fuck out of people all the goddamn time. But to see like one of them retire because they ultimately realized that I couldn't make it to the top, and that like in a weird way because she left the storyline for Micah, for the fans to like Micah or relate to Micah more than they otherwise would have. And then the injury stuff happened, opened the door for Micah, and she has this opportunity that like never would have happened if not for Himeka retiring. And then ultimately at the end of it, she has the belt and then she has her friend with her for that moment. I thought it was just a really surreal, cool thing where it's like, this never would have happened if not for just the weird, dumb luck of pro wrestling. And I thought it was really neat. And I thought it was like, you know, for a really weird year with Stardom, like to end on that moment was like, for a company that is built on happy moments, like it's always been, when we watched it, to be able to close the year with a happy moment, a genuinely happy moment was like, I think the talks of their demise are overrated. I think that like if they don't have some of the worst injury luck you can imagine, they're off for a really good year. And I think like some of the stuff with the overdoing the long title reigns thing, I think it's gonna be a thing of the past. I think like there are going to be less bridesmaids now. I think there's going to be people are getting more outside of the top 6 are going to get more shots at these things. So like I feel like they're going to have a better year this year than last year.
Yeah, like one would just think like the lightning would stop striking at some point.
Yeah, it's bad. Bro, Tam, Azumi, Natsupoi, Kamatani, Utami. It's like, God damn, how many people get hurt? Mayu with the finger. Mayu just came back. Like, yeah, tons of people just hurt.
I have news for you, James.
Yeah.
A Wrestle Kingdom preview. We are 3 hours and 13 minutes into this show.
Winners. That's it.
It ain't. We ain't got much for you.
We got winners.
Time restrictions are whooping our ass.
Yeah. Naito, winner.
Yeah, hold on. Give me 1 second. We'll pull up the card here. Stall for me.
All right. Yeah, so I think we got, right now, if I were going to pick Naito as a winner, Jon Moxley as a winner, I probably got Bishamon as a winner. What else? What are the matches? Saber. I think he's going to retain over Tanahashi, of course, with the TV title. What is the match? What is the match? Is Yota Tsuji in? Is Tsuji in?
Uemura.
What you got on that one?
Big Suge.
Okay. I'll go with Uemura just to fuck with you. Let's see. Like I'm going through. All right, let's see. Where are we? All right, Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo Dome. I'm looking at the cage match. So, all right. We already. Okada and Danielson. I'll go with Okada because Danielson don't want. He's allergic to winning. You want me to go through the match by match, Rich?
Sure. I got mine up on this side too. So
okay, so let's start with the main match. Sonata versus Naito, IWGP World Heavyweight Title. I got Naito.
I got Naito as well. I almost slipped up and said Sonata, but then
nah.
So
burn down the dome.
Yeah.
All right, special singles match. Danielson versus Okada. I got Okada.
I've got Okada as well.
IWGP Global Heavyweight Title match 3-way. Jon Moxley versus Ospreay versus David Finlay. I got Jon Moxley pinning David Finlay.
I've got Will Ospreay pinning David Finlay.
Okay. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title match. Takahashi Hiromu versus Desperado for the millionth time. I got Hiromu because, of course.
I'll take Hiromu as well.
Okay. IWGP titles and also NJ Strong Openweight Tag titles. Bishamon versus God. I'm
taking Bishamon.
Okay. Yep, I got Bishamon. Never Openweight title. Shingo versus Tama Tonga. I'm going with Shingo.
I'm going with Tama Tonga.
Wow. Okay. You have reasons for that, or you just want to go leave it there?
I think Shingo's getting freed up to go elsewhere.
Okay. Special tag match. Kaito Kiyomiya and Shota Umino versus House of Torture, Evil, and Ren Narita. I'll go with Umino and Shota.
I'm taking the House of Torture, and they're going to pin Kaito Kiyomiya because they fucking own him.
Nasty. We already talked about Yoda. We already talked about Tsuji and Yamura. You got Tsuji. I got Yamura. In our New Japan World Television title match. Saber versus Tanahashi. I got Saber.
I got Saber too, but I would love for Tanahashi to win.
Same. All right. Connors in Drilla versus Catch 22. I got Catch 22.
Catch 22.
Yep. And then obviously the pre-show Ramble. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know what's in it. So
Yep. So that is our New Japan Wrestle Kingdom in Tokyo Dome 18 preview. Sorry.
I saw a great comment. Sonata versus Tetsuya Naito. The answer: sleep.
Oh man, you can't believe that, didn't you?
Oh no, not me. No.
You saw it on Twitter?
No, it's just Brewhaven in the comment section.
Oh, okay. I say you saw it on Twitter. I wonder if you liked it. I bet you did.
I would have.
I know you. You nasty man. Terrible.
But yeah, man.
Your agendas.
Yeah, out in public, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, first One Nation Radio of the year in the can.
Yeah, we gave y'all 3 hours. Gave y'all plenty of clips. said plenty outrageous stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't I say something about like Megan Thee Stallion's lotionist?
Yes.
I don't know where I put that one up my ass.
Actually, no. Yeah, you did.
I put that one up my ass. I don't even know. Is that even a thing?
It can be. But keep your dreams alive, brother. Keep your dreams alive. But yeah, another year on our. We took a couple weeks off at the end of the year. I feel refreshed and glad to be doing the show. And hope you guys enjoy the show. Keep spreading the show. Keep growing the show. It's up to you how far we take this shit. So like we gonna be here. We had two motherfuckers listening to the show before. So like it's just us. So.
Wait, we started in the fall of 2012. So whatever that is, that's what year we're in.
Goddamn.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the show, y'all. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using. Listen this with. I'm looking right now. Rich has our ass up there, but if you are listening to the stream, go to the podcast and go to the show notes and click on the red circle link there. You can donate there.
And thank whoever dropped the generous donations over to the One Nation Radio feed as well as the Social Suplex podcast feed. It does not tell us who does those donations, but we definitely see them and we appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And be sure to listen to the other shows in the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, and Imp's WWE Adventure. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
And Wrestle Art with Chris Sting.
Yes. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later. Happy 2024.
Yep, that's right.